Well, baseball is the prime topic right now. As Jerry Royce has taken the mound, and he'll be going against Lou Brock, Teddy Sizemore, and Reggie Smith here in the first inning. And the big thing to beat St. Louis, they say, is to keep a guy named Lou Brock off the base paths and try and keep a guy named Ted Simmons in the ballpark. That can sometimes be a very difficult thing. If you look at Brock's credentials, 107 stolen bases, more than anybody in the history of baseball in one season, beating Ty Cobb's mark and then Maury Wills. And he'll be leading it off here. And at the age 35 or 36, I'm not sure what his exact age is. We'll check it in the book. But he seemingly, like wine, gets better with age. And one of the key reasons to it, I think, is his philosophy. He said, you can't buck things too much. You got to learn to bend once in a while. And he said, I've been able to do that. I don't let things bother me too much. He was born in 1939, so that doesn't make him 35 years of age. He's still playing great baseball. He's sitting at 311, 3 home runs, driven in 46. The Pirates, a game and a half back, and they have done well in this ballpark recently, and particularly against Eastern Division ball clubs when the pitch is underway to open up the ball game. Fastball inside, ball 1. Bucks are 22-14 against the East at home, and overall, well under 500 with 33 wins and 41 defeats. Here's a pitch by Royce, swing and a miss on a fastball, strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Doug Harvey working behind the plate. Jerry Dale at first. Art Williams at second. Harry Wendelstadt at third. Foul back out of play. Royce again with a mustard up high. And the count of 1-2. Both ball clubs going with veteran lineups here tonight. No rookies put into this thing, and it's down to the wire. These are the lineups that they figure are the best they've got going. Pirates have won 7 in a row at home. The Cardinals, after losing 2 in a row to the Phillies, have come back to win 5 in a row, while the Pirates are dropping 5 in a row. Foul out of play by Brock down the left field line, and the count of 1-2. One of the great trades in Cardinal history had to be picking this fellow up for a guy named Ernie Broglio. Royce with the long pause has the sign, the 1-2 pitch, inside, almost got him. 2 balls, 2 strikes, backed him off the plate. Jerry's last outing, a very strong one against the Philadelphia Phillies, leading 4-0 into the 8th inning, and the bottom suddenly fell out. The Bucks wound up losing it 6-4. And that game hurt, I guess, as much as any we've had so far this year. Pirates just have not been able to get that momentum going since the day off yesterday, a very welcomed one. Maybe get their thoughts together a bit. The 2-2 pitch. Right there, strike 3. He caught him looking. Brock didn't agree with that call by Doug Harvey, but Mr. Harvey, a very veteran umpire, doesn't miss too many. And a good way to start off, keeping Brock out the base paths here in the opening inning. Ted Sizemore, the second baseman, hitting at 250, 2 home runs, driven in 44. And he got special recognition when Brock broke Maury Wills' mark the other night. He brought him out for a little bit of an encore. He figured he had as much to do with it, batting right behind him. Nobody on base. Sizemore takes the strike. Cardinals have been a red-hot ball club in September. They have won 11 and lost 3. The 0-1 pitch. Curveball bends just on the corner, taking strike 2. Well, he's mixing up a good off-speed curveball with that fastball. And then he just caught the outside corner as he slid that one over in the outside part of the plate on Sizemore. Pirates playing him pretty much straight away. Ziska, however, shaded a bit to right field. The 0-2 pitch. High foul, back out of play. Fastball, he challenged him, the count of 0-2. One noticeable thing about Royce this year is that his strikeout total is down considerably from what it was last year. He is not the strikeout pitcher, but he also has won more ball games this season than ever before, and probably pitched as strong from season open to right now as he has in previous seasons. He's only 25 years of age. He has already won 62 ball games and lost 57. The 0-2 pitch. Foul, back out of play by Sizemore. Very few pitchers in recent history at age 25 have captured 62 wins. The big years for pitchers are supposed to be about 29, 30, 31, 32. And you look at a guy named Gibson and Warren Spahn, even greater years than that later on. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball by Royce. Gets Sizemore swinging. Jerry starting off very quickly, picks up 2 strikeouts, and that'll bring up Reggie Smith, a switch hitter, batting right-handed against Royce. He's batting at .313, has 22 home runs, and driven in 93. Smith hitting at .294 right-handed, .324 left-handed, takes the pitch down low for a ball. His power side is from the other side with 16 home runs. But he's hit 6 from this side. The 1-0 pitch, and it's a curveball hanging high. 2 balls and no strikes. Outfield pulled around to left field on Smith. The pitch by Royce, swing and a miss on a fastball, strike 1. Well, Jerry just reaching back when he gets into trouble. That was something he didn't do in that Philadelphia Philly ball game. Going with the off-speed breaking ball, but early here going to heat. Fastball popped up off the first base side. Kirkpatrick has the play near the railing on the warning track. He's got it. Tore up a piece of Titan surface and almost took a spill over there, but he's putting it back into shape. The Cardinals get down a order in the first inning, and we'll go to the bottom of the first. No score.
Hi, this is your old superstar, me, Mary Jane, and I'd like you to give a listen to some news from your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Put the money in your pocket.
Thank you, Mary Jane. You're right, because money is what this message is all about. Right now, it's year-end clearance time at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. That means he's tagging every 74 car in stock with a year-end price. Year-end prices on his 8 great small car buys, including Valiants, Dusters, and Scamps, America's best-selling line of compact cars. Year-end prices on his mid-size satellites and full-size Furies and Chryslers. Prices to move them and move them out fast. Because your Chrysler Plymouth dealer knows it costs him more to keep them than to sell them. So if you have to get the most out of every dollar you spend, and who doesn't nowadays, the place to buy that new car is at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
You can really clean up on a great year-end deal at your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
You can now get an official Pirate team picture at your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Well, the Gunner Bob Prince will be along very shortly. He had participated in the pregame ceremonies that we had taped and played for you very briefly before the start of the ball game. Rennie Stennett, Hebner, and Oliver will lead off against Bob Gibson, who this year against the Pirates in 2 previous outings had no decision the opening game of the season in St. Louis. Pirates wound up losing that one on a weird play, you may remember. We thought we had a triple play. The umpires weren't sure what we had, but wound up giving us 2, but we lost it. But he did pitch a very strong game against the Pirates out in St. Louis, shutting us out 4-0 on the 24th of June. Lifetime record of 27-15. Stannard hitting at .289, has 7 home runs, driven in 54. The pitch by Bob Gibson, fastball, hit foul down the right field line, and drifting, I believe, out of play, it is into the box seats. Reggie Smith almost took a spill down there, as did Kirkpatrick to end the first inning for us. This field just put into shape after the Steelers' impressive win over the Colts on Sunday. And some pieces of tartan surface laying loose there on the edge. Crowd coming alive here. The 0-1 pitch by Gibson. High pop-up in the infield. Drifting back is Tyson, the shortstop. Just behind second, he makes the play for the first out. Well, a belated happy 58th wedding anniversary to 2 Pirate fans, Mr. and Mrs. Ralph Bucci of Whitehall. They celebrated that on the 14th of September. And a happy 36th wedding anniversary to Al and Mary Confer of Ardara, Pennsylvania. Richie Hebner hitting at .302. Takes the fastball up high from Gibson, ball 1. Hebner hit 2 home runs off Gibson the opening game of the season in St. Louis. Started off with 6 in the month of April. The 1-0 pitch. Line shot off the right side and snared by Sizemore. Picks up, throws. He got him at first. They think Torrey came off the bag in an argument there between Jerry Dale and Jose Pagan. As Torrey reached out to get the ball, a wickedly hit ball by Hebner that was knocked down by Sizemore. He was very deep at second base. He knocked the ball down, and it came just a bit to his left. Picked it up and threw on in time to get Hebner. 2 down in the Pirates' first inning. No score, and the batter, Oliver, looks at a pitch down low for a ball. Gibson, his usual style of working very rapidly. Back with another pitch in the 1-0 delivery. High pop-up off the third base side. Reach giving chase. He may have a play on it near the railing, and he can't make the play. It's right in the crowd. The umpire following the play all the way, Harry Wendelstedt. That fan did not reach out. He stayed inside the railings there and caught the foul ball. That's a count of 1-1. Jim Palmer goes against George Medich. That game being played at Baltimore tonight or at New York. That game at New York or Baltimore? That's at New York. They have a 2.5 game lead over the Orioles. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Oliver. Changeup and a foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pirates were humbled the first 5 or 6 ball games by the Cardinals, but have played much better since then, splitting the last 2 in this ballpark. Breaking ball inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pirates lost the last time in here was a 12-inning ball game. The 2-2 pitch by Gibson, changeup and a high fly deep to right field. This one could be gone. It is home run, Oliver. And Gibson doesn't throw too many of those, or he hasn't in previous years, but going to it more this year in a home run. Gives the Buck the 1-0 lead. Stargell looks at a strike, the slider that just moved on the outside corner. That is number 9 by Oliver, his 73rd RBI, and the Bucks are out in front. They shift against Willie. Fastball up on Will, and a count of 1-1. Reeds at the normal shortstop position. Tyson, a shortstop, about 15 feet on the first base side of second. And Sizemore in shallow right field. There's a line drive down the right field line. Cut off by Smith, who holds it to a long single. And the Pirates, after 2 are out and nobody on, a home run and a line drive single. But Charlie has something going against the veteran Bob Gibson. Pirates this year have been a good 2-out lightning ball club. And it's showing up quickly here, and this crowd coming alive like they did in that Philadelphia Phillies series when the Bucks got behind early, but the enthusiasm just overwhelmed everybody that day, and hopefully it's carrying on here in this very big series against the Cardinals. This hitting at .319. Takes the slider at the knee, strike 1. Gibson can probably pitch low and away about as well as anybody with that good slider when he is sharp. He had knee surgery last fall, came back late in the season, and pitched a couple of ball games, but it's bothered him. There he hangs the slider, taken by this, strike 2. Richie been a bit more hesitant swinging the bat in the last week or so. But what a year he's had. Ground ball, weakly to shortstop. Tyson will take it unassisted on Stargell. That'll retire the Pirates. The home run by Oliver gives us our run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. That will go into the second inning, and the Pirates lead 1-0.
Hello, 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 me, Mary Jean, our superstar. Tell 'em about our Chrysler Plymouth car.
Sure will, fellas. I'm going to tell 'em about 8 great small car buys that are even better buys at cleanup time.
Please tell us some more.
Okay, your Chrysler Plymouth dealer has dusters and Valiants and stamps, and they're all going at great cleanup prices.
We want to hear it all.
Listen, did you know that America's #1 selling compacts come from Plymouth? That's right. These same Valiants and dusters and stamps are America's favorite. So you know they gotta be good. And when you can get them at a cleanup price, that's terrific. 8 great superstar buys. Know what I mean?
Thank you, me, Mary Jean, for coming through. That's why we love you.
Come on in for a great deal on America's #1 selling small car at your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Well, before the game, Art McKinnon was honored, and the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh, Peter Flaherty, was on hand. And I know you get many duties to be called on to perform, but I think you rather cherished the award you gave Art McKinnon.
Yes, Nellie, this is one of the things that he really likes to do, because Art's not only been the voice of the Pirates, but he's done many fine things here in the city of Pittsburgh, working with the youngsters over the years.
Big impact on youth, as I said.
Well, he's just that kind of a guy that you turn out for him.
All right, the gunner's here, and we're ready for baseball. And Robert, you ready to go? The batter is Ted Simmons. He's batting at .266 and has 17 home runs, driven in 85. Bob?
Mayor said he got us a winner, Nellie. By gosh, we'll hold him to that. And down the slot, but over on the outside. You take a look at that replay. I was just coming up, Nellie. That ball that Oliver hit looked like it was about as good a 9-iron shot I've seen to the wicket. But here's the 2-0 high. Where did it go with relation to the right field?
It went into the red seats. It was rather deep. right over the Philly sign, which may have some importance. I don't know. I hate to think of Phillies after leaving that town.
I do, too. 3-0 has walked Simmons. That's the first time that Royce has put a man aboard. We'll bring up Joe Torre. Pirates on top 1-0. Nellie, as a former baseball player, if you had to pick a game, now let's say we got to win 2 out of 3 in the series, would you attach more importance to this game tonight than any of the other 2 that
I think so, yeah. I think because we've lost 5 in a row, we've lost some big ball games in Philadelphia. And I think once you start losing big ball games, and this is a big one, if you win one, you get some confidence back. And this ball club needs a little confidence right now.
Pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1. Uncle Thomas P. Johnson is here. He's got confidence. 1 ball, no balls, and a strike here to Joe Torre, batting at .282. They're going to be leading Simmons off. We're holding with Kirkpatrick. Royce backs him off the plate with a high inside fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pirates are leading by the score 1-0 by virtue of a long home run hit by Al Oliver. His 9th of the year with 2 down. He really golfed the shot off Bobby Gibson. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Pop foul to the right and out of play. Stan Musial is here, the vice president of the Cardinals, just dropped in. And, of course, his hometown of Denora. This is, without doubt, a very big ball game for the Buccos, as they all are for both clubs that are in contention. Perhaps I should say the 3 clubs, because you cannot rule Philadelphia out of the pack. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Simmons, the runner at first. Pirates lead 1-0, second inning. Now Jerry Royce checks over to first to Simmons. Comes to the plate. Fouled it straight back to Torre, and the count now 1-2. Torre batting at .282, playing at first base tonight for St. Louis. 10 homers, 63 runs batted in. What a beautiful tribute tonight. The Pirates and the Steelers and the Penguins and the fans paid to Art McKinnon, the voice of the Pirates for many, many years. Here's the 1-2 delivery, fouled back again, and I don't like to see a guy fouling them off too often. Once you foul several back, you keep worrying about somebody getting a hold of one. Simmons opened the inning with a walk. Royce struck out the first 2 batters, Brock and Sizemore. Popped Smith. Has walked Simmons on 4 pitches and has fouled off now with Torre about 5 in a row. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And another foul over the right side, count holding 1-2. They're going to play, of course, around to the left on Torre with Big McBride. A ball, 2 strikes. Royce getting his sign now from Sanguillen. Simmons with short lead at first. The pitch. Bounce to third base, Hebner. He's up for 1. To Stennett on the first. A double play. We just threw the old how sweet it is sign up there for the double play. And Bill Guilfoyle's got more doggone signs made up here as the Bucks are driving for 5. We got to try to get to our position where we can go at them. All right, William, thank you. That was J. Edgar Hoover on over to the dam on the right side of the diamond, and down they go, and here's Big McBride at 3-1-6. He takes a strike. Bake is the center fielder. 6 homers, 53 runs batted in. Two down, Pirates lead 1-0 in the second inning. Royce to the windup, the 0-1. Curveball hit weakly out in front of the plate. Royce comes off the mound, bare hands throws. It hits McBride in the back. He's going to try to go on into second base. Stennett comes up, can't make the play. McBride is in at second. Let's see how they're going to rule here. Boy, he got hit right in the small of the back. He really got drilled. I'll watch it on the replay. The ball was weakly tapped out in front of the mound. Sanguillen went to get to it. Royce comes up. He throws. He hits to the inside. He throws off the left shoulder of McBride. I think it was a base hit myself, from what I saw on TV. Then on the throw to get him into second, to hit him right in the back. But they ruled an error all the way. So he's on an error. You got to remember something. This guy can fly. Now Ken Reitz is batting at the third baseman at 279, swinging a miss, strike 1. McBride is still rubbing the small of his back. He got popped and popped good on that very strong throw that caught him. I think that they're going to change it. I thought they might. They're going to call it a base hit, then the air. There's a long fly to left that's hooking foul out of play, and we'll pause for station identification on the Pirate Baseball Network.
All the good sports are on Pirate TV Pittsburgh.
Bake McBride is still rubbing the small of his back right up between the shoulder blades. Nothing in one, the count. Fly ball left center. It's playable. Oliver running over to his right, getting under, and that'll retire the side. So the inning showed no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second, leading by the score of 1-0.
Hello, 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 me, Mary Jean, our superstar. Tell 'em about our Chrysler Plymouth car.
Okay, me and my friends here are going to tell them how they've been waiting to buy a full-size car. They're really smart, right?
Tell him, Mary Jean.
I mean, it's cleanup time at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
That's right, Mary Jean. Your Chrysler Plymouth dealer is getting ready for his new 75. So he's putting a year-end price on his full-size 74 Furies and Chryslers.
Isn't that terrific?
You know, for some people, a full-size car isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And at cleanup time, it makes a great buy. Fury and Chrysler.
Yeah, sometimes it's smart to wait. Know what I mean?
Sure do.
Thank you, Mary Jean, for coming through. That's why we love you.
Come on in for a great cleanup deal on a Fury or Chrysler at your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
You can now get an official Pirate team picture at your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Batting in the 6th position and catching, number 35, Manny Sanguilla.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Sanguilla, and he hits the fly ball out into shallow center field. McBride comes on. He's got him 1 out. Eddie Kirkpatrick at 264. 6 homers, 34 runs batted in. 1 down, none on. And 1-0 Pittsburgh. Kirkpatrick at 264. 6 homers, 34 runs batted in. Gibson delivers. Kirky hits a ball out into right field for a base hit. Third hit off Gibson, got a hanging curveball. That'll bring up Frank Tavares, batting at 247. And Frank's taking his time coming up here. Pirates are leading 1-0 here. Tom Johnson, one of the principal owners of our ball club. Tom, I'm sure it's a disappointment to you that we're not drawing better than we are.
Well, Robert, you know we like to win. And the fans can have a factor about this ball club. You've tried to build it up over the years about the green weenies and things that they say about you. But you've been a great Pittsburgh fan all your years. And it's a shame to see a crowd like this when this looking at such a crucial game.
Well, we'll get our shots. Of course, I have to say this. I think perhaps there's been an economy factor, and we did not play well early part of the season. But I got to think in this crucial series, we got some problems. Ground ball to short. Up comes Sizemore. Slight bobble on to Tyson to Sizemore, I should say, and on to first for the double play. We'll be back with one of our principal owners, Tom Johnson, in a moment. At the end of 2, we lead 1-0. Protein is a vital element in dogs' daily feeding. Joy, nature's food for dogs, contains 25% protein in both its kibbles and chunks of Joy. Joy dog food is a scientific blend of grains and meat solids that provides your dog with a balanced ration, so necessary for good health and habits. This chewy, crunchy, tasty dry dog food keeps all dogs in championship condition. The meat solids it contains are equivalent to 60% fresh meat and maintains a proper balance of protein, fats, calcium, and vitamins that keeps your dog active and alert. So compare labels when you shop for dog food. You'll find Joy, nature's food for dogs, contains 25% protein. Compare that with high percentage with any other dog ration of equal quality, and you'll find that Joy is equal or better. So today, fill your dog's feeding bowl with that high-protein, scientifically balanced dry dog food and watch him jump for joy. Oh, yes, Joy will not cost you an arm or a leg. You'll find Joy dog food at your Garden Fresh, Little Giant, and Witchy's markets. Now your host is Joy, nature's high-protein food for dogs. Higher in protein still costs less than most other brands. You know, Tom, we've just come off a road trip, and we've seen some fantastic attendance figures with ball clubs that aren't in it. I'm sure this, as an owner, disappoints you that we're not drawing better here in Pittsburgh.
Well, of course, on the field, on the road, we have not done a good team, Robert. But here at home, with a beautiful baseball, as you know, and to see the stands so free of fans tonight, really makes me sorry, and I'm sure it has to have some effect on the players.
Well, it probably does, no question about that. As Tyson leads off with a base hit to right, that's the second hit of the ball game. Tom, to conclude it, actually, I know the Pittsburgh and tri-state area fans are really behind our Buccos, and let's hope that we can win this game and the next one and deservedly get into a playoff spot, which will mean an awful lot to all of us.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
I hope so, too.
Well, we'll get there. Here's Gibson in there, batting at 2-1-9. No homers and 2 runs batted in. We lead 1-0. My goodness. I looked up there for a moment. I thought it looked like the Cardinals had scored 8 runs in the first inning on the scoreboard, but I see there's a little hyphen in the first 0. That's just a mistake. 1 ball, no strike delivery, and it's high, ball 2. Tyson batting at 2-1-8. Where we've got to stop the Cardinals is stop the Scribini hitters. And when those 200 hitters get base hits against you, then you get in some trouble. And we got to get them out because they normally get themselves out. 2 balls and no strikes here to Bob Gibson, who's no easy touch at the plate. He cuts at this one, and it looked like he pulled his arm a little bit. Ball 2 and strike 1. Doug Harvey behind the plate. Made a fine presentation to Art McKinnon tonight. Ball 2 and strike 1 on behalf of the Major League umpires. We'll look over to first to Tyson. Gibson bunted through and fouled. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Stan Musial in town tonight. My good old buddy, Frank Physica. Sent our best wishes along, too, to Sam Stevens, 90 years young, and his biggest brag is he never missed one of our broadcasts. Well, that's delightful. And to Earl Wood, who's 88 years young from Menneson. Ball 2 and strike 2. Tyson, the runner at first base. Pirates lead 1-0. We're in third. Step over, throw to first, and he's back. Ball 2 and strike 2. Swing and a miss, and Gibson goes down. Third strikeout. We had the pleasure of talking the other day to Mr. Nolte down in Wheeling, West Virginia on the occasion of his 90th birthday, and what a Pittsburgh Pirate fan he's been. All right, here's Lou Brock, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Pirates lead 1-0. Mike Tyson off first. The throw over there, he's back. This is the second birthday of the Allegheny County Foster Grandparent Program. And congratulations to them. Actually, it'll be on the 20th of September. What a job they do. Pitch, curve inside, ball 1. 110 foster grandparents in Allegheny County. They range in ages from 60 to 84, all celebrating their second birthday. More than 300 children in 7 locations have enjoyed the special love and companionship of their part-time grandmas and grandfathers. Ball 1 and no strikes. 1 out and 1 on. The batter, Brock. Tyson, the runner at first. He base hit to lead the inning off. Brock hits a 1-hopper back to Royce. They throw in time for 1 on to first. They won't get Brock. Now we're going to get a chance at a stolen base. I wish to Dickens we'd have thrown to first and got him out and let Tyson stay up there at second. But you're going to see it. You're going to get there anyhow. If he's going to be successful, he'll get there. So really, you've got to do exactly what Royce did. It went 1-6 on Tyson, and Brock beats out the fourth play and brings up Sizemore, struck out back in the first. Now, let's watch. Brock has 107 stolen bases. Kirkpatrick holding there. Royce goes over. Brock is back. Pirates are on top, 1-0, home run, Al Oliver. Again, he goes over. Sizemore should get nothing but fastballs to hit with Brock on. Brock dancing around out there. Royce steps off the mound. Hold the ball on him, Jerry, old buddy. Make him get tired. Just hold him. The set. Another look. And he goes over to first. He's driving Jerry a little bit up a wall. Now he throws right back again, hoping to catch Brock in the act of a walking lead. There's nothing dumb about Jerry Royce either. There's quite a battle going on right here. Pirates leading 1-0. We're in the third. Brock edges off first. Royce is yet to pitch to Sizemore. Does, and throws it in there for a strike, and Sizemore can't believe it. Fastball that backed up on the inside corner. Natona Heights Little League holding its 8th annual baseball banquet Saturday, September the 21st at 6:30 at the New Kensington Holiday Inn. Then they have Bruce Keeson, Johnny Moreland, Ed Kranepool of the Mets, and Red Mahalik, one of the best basketball and football officials I think I've ever known. That's a big one. 0-1 the count. Look to first. Now to the plate, Brock's going. The throw by Sanguillen. They got him. Sanguillen unloaded one. And Brock was at the proverbial mile. It was a throw down to Rennie Stennett, who is in his 51st game or 52nd ball game without an error. And we go to the bottom of the third, leading 1-0. Want a great new experience in shopping? This week, plan your food shopping in one of the modern Super Dollar markets. There's always a great plus for Super Dollar customers that's sometimes hard to find in most other large food markets. It's that wonderful, friendly feeling of welcome that puts you at ease the moment you walk through the door. Super Dollar folks are people who like people, and you can take it from the old gunner. They'll do everything they can to help you make that hard-earned dollar go a little further. Super Dollar markets are the friendly food markets which are making an effort to hold the line against the onslaught of rising prices. Fighting inflation is not easy, but at Super Dollar, you'll find top-grade meats and produce, as well as many of the well-known national and local brands at prices that make your dollar have more sense. So if you're looking for a friendly market that can serve you better and save you more, it's Super Dollar markets, the inflation fighters, where your dollar has more sense and who serve you better and save you more. Start your food shopping at Super Dollar markets this week and feel the difference. It's a high fly left field, and I guess we're going to have to give fast commercial cues, and Billy Richardson, you pop them down there, pop, because with Gibson coming up, he doesn't always take his 8 warm-ups. We lead 1-0 on a homer by Al Oliver, who hit a golf shot, a 9-iron, right up into the red seats, is how they describe. Here's Stennett now, popped to short back in the first inning. Pirates leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. Gibson works. Stennett takes it over the plate for a strike. Outfield playing Rennie to slice the ball into right field, not pull. Hits a ball high into right. Smith dropping back. 2 down. That'll bring up Richie Hebner with a 4-3 out back in the first inning. He likes to hit normally against Gibson. Pirates 1 and the Cardinals 0. Bucks know they got to win at least 2 out of the 3, and the most important part is take the first one. Here's the pitch now. Hebner delivers outside. That is, Gibson turned that one over and swept it away from Hebner. Ball 1. Pirates 1 run on 3 hits. The Cardinals none on 2. Brock's been cut down trying to steal. Gibson back with a fastball. Swing and a miss by Hebner. 1-1. This game has brought the writers in from all over the country. They've said it's down to 2 teams, Pittsburgh and the Cardinals. So the Philadelphia writers, the Chicago writers, they're all here. Pitch in there, 1 and 2. Dick Dozier, Bruce Cadden, Bill Conlon. I mean, they're from everywhere. They're right down to this one. A ball and 2 strikes to Hebner. He hits a ball out into shallow center. McBride can't get it. It's a base hit. Hebner hit a looper off the end of the bat into shallow center field. And the 2-out single brings up Al Oliver, who hit his 9th home of the year. A golf shot up into the upper deck in right field back in the first inning. Fine crew of umpires. Harvey, Dale, Williams, and Wendelstadt. Art Williams checking now with Sizemore and Tyson to see if he's all right. And a pitch to Oliver, high and away, ball 1. They're playing Al straight away. Right fielder Reggie Smith is deep. Oliver crowded on the next pitch with a fastball from Gibby. Inside, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Gibson ready. Turns this one over outside high, ball 3. And waiting on deck, Willie Stargell. Pirates leading 1-0. 2 down, Hebner, base hits. The pitch is in there for a strike to Oliver, and the count is 3-1. You don't dare put your head down with Gibson pitching. He's ready to go. Back again. Oliver fouls, and the count is full, 3-2. Ball 3, strike 2. Boy, you can't loaf if you're an infielder and outfielder. Pitch. Here's a bat handle pop off the right side. Picked up by second baseman Sizemore for the out. A fine throwing play. That ball looked like it was going to get through for the base hit. He slammed it off the right side, and Sizemore went over to backhand the ball and throw out Al Oliver. So the inning is over. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. End of 3. Pirates 1, the Cardinals nothing.
Hey, here's a cool, refreshing idea for the hot summer months. You can quench that sizzling summer thirst with Daly's high-quality, good-tasting, fruit-flavored drinks for the family. Far better than pop. It costs less and no sugar's needed. The regular size bottle makes 26 glasses for about 3 cents a glass. It's like getting a 26-pack. Or Daly's concentrate in the gallon size makes 104 glasses full, like getting a big 104-pack. The gallon size comes in 7 popular flavors: orange lemon, cherry, orange, grape, lemon, fruit punch, and lemon lime. It's thriftier, delicious, and convenient. Daly's concentrate goes a long way and quenches thirst better than anything you can buy. It's great in cooking and baking, or as topping for ice cream, and it makes delicious popsicles for the youngsters. No sugar needed. You just add water. Get the regular 26-ounce bottle or the thriftier, handier gallon size. Thirsty? Well, quench it with Daly's fresh fruit concentrate. Your host was Daly's Juice Natural Juice Products, natural fruit drink concentrate, and Daly's Cocktail Time cocktail mixes. Ted Sizemore opens up the 4th inning against Jerry Royce. The Pirates out in front 1-0 on a home run by Al Oliver with 2 outs and nobody on in the first inning. Bob Gibson, number 9 by Scoops. Sizemore struck out in the first inning as Royce opened up with strikeouts on Brock and Sizemore. Ted batting at .249, a right-handed batter, fouls back out of play. He was at bat when, as Bob described, Brock was out by a sizable margin at second base on a very strong throw, and right on the money by Manny Sankey instead of making the tag. But the big thing, Royce kept him honest over there. The windup in the 0-1 pitch by Jerry. Foul right at the feet of Sankey, strike 2. Pirates have been a ball club that have come from 9.5 games back at one time and 14 games under 500. They're only a game and a half out right now after losing 5 in a row on a tough road trip. And it's been their problem this year on the road in the Eastern Division ballpark. But in this park, they've played well and they've done well ever since they moved in here in 1970. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball, high pop-up into shallow center field. Oliver calling for it. He'll make the grab. 1 down. The tartan surface has been a very welcome thing for Pirate ball clubs in 1970, 1971, 72, 3 divisional titles. Last year, just missing it on the last day of the season. And this year, back in the thick of things, too. It's been a contending ball club. You can't ask for much more than that. It's a very competitive business. Reggie Smith fouled out his first time up, and check swings fouls behind home plate. Strike one. Ted Simmons waiting on deck. This was a big trade the Cardinals made in the offseason, and it certainly panned out for them. That and the acquisition of Lynn McLaughlin. They completely revamped the pitching staff. Changeup way outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals and the Red Sox doing a lot of trading. Both ball clubs in the thick of things. Boston 3.5 out. The Redbirds a game and a half in front. The 1-1 pitch, foul off the third base side, and a count of 1-2. Tough thing about the Pirates' last road trip was the loss of Doc Ellis, and also the inability of Dave Justy to do some pitching. And had those things not occurred, there's no doubt the Pirates would have won 4 and lost 3 and maybe done even better than that. But it's tough going without your big horses. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, a fastball, back Smith off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You take Lynn McLaughlin and Alan Raboski off this ball club, and you find out how many extra inning ball games they're going to win, or close ones. The 2-2 pitch. Foul, back out of play. The Mets proved it last year with Tug McGraw making such a great comeback in the last 5 weeks of the season. And he completely turned things around. And good relief pitching can do that for you. And Justy has done that for the Bucks again this year. The 2-2 pitch. Down low, and the count is full, 3-2. Royce has issued 1 walk. That was Teddy Simmons in the second inning. The Pirates turned over a double play to get out of that one. And it turned out to be a very big one, too. As an error by Royce, moved a runner into second base. Foul, back out of play, on the full count of 3-2. So it will hold. Pirates have 16 games left. The Cardinals have 15. 6 with the Pirates and 6 with the Cubs. 3 up in Montreal. Here's the windup in the 3-2 pitch to Reggie Smith. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He blew a fastball right by him. Royce is leaning on some heat here this evening. This is as good a fastball as he has thrown early in the ball game in quite some time. 4 strikeouts, and he is not going to any off-speed pitching here tonight. Simmons, the batter. He walked in the second inning. He's on a 6-game hitting streak. Was in a bit of a slump, but he's gotten hot. Batting at 266. Fouls back out of play as Royce came up and in with a fastball. Cardinals' long suit this year has been the speed of Brock and McBride. Their home run potential has picked up a bit from last year. They have hit 75 with the addition of Reggie Smith. Big part in that. Curveball right there, strike 2. Good sharp breaking ball by Royce. Just grabbed the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Pirates lead 1-0 in the Cardinal 4th inning. 2 down, nobody on. Jerry taking a lot of time here now between the 0-2 count and the next pitch coming up. He's ready. The 0-2 pitch. Up high at the middle of the cap. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is it. The start of 3 here, and then 3 next week in St. Louis between the Pirates and the Cardinals. Some pretty good scheduling. And one of the charms of divisional play, the 1-2 pitch underway. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A fastball. Threw it right by him. That is 5 for Royce. He's buzzing the ball tonight. The Cardinals in the 4th go down in order, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. The Pirates lead 1-0. How many of you Pirates fans can remember seeing the great Hannes Wagner? But if you're in your 40s or 50s, your only memory of him is probably as a batting coach. White-haired, bow-legged, leaning on a fungo bat beside the cage at Forbes Field. And if you're in your 60s or 70s, you may have a cherished memory of actually seeing the Dutchman as a player. Looping a single to left center and flying down to first, turning the corner at full speed and sailing headlong into second for a double. Hannes Wagner is remembered for his competitive, no-nonsense attitude about baseball. And at Union National Bank, they pride themselves on their competitive, no-nonsense attitude about banking. They're not interested in frills or gimmicks. And yet, if you come to see Union National, you'll find a full range of banking services. You'll find courteous and professional people. And most of all, you'll find that after 117 years, Union National is still a bank. Member FDIC. They have a postponement at Arlington, Texas. California and Texas postponed because of rain. Rangers still have their nose in the picture in that Western Division, only 5 games back, and one of the surprise clubs of 1974. Stargell, Zisk, and Sagian, 4, 5, and 6 batters to go against Gibson. Pitches down low, ball 1. Willie single down the right field line. They overshift, and Reggie Smith not much more than 30 to 40 feet off the line in right field. Here's a pitch by Gibson, a changeup in the dirt, gets away from the catcher Teddy Simmons, and a count of 2-0. Good to have in a booth Lanny Fratteri. He does the Charleston Charlies ball games on radio. Their season over. The 2-0 pitch inside on Will, and the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. Sizemore playing Stargell about as deep as any second baseman we've seen. He's got to be a good 30 feet into right field. Hard shot right side. He may have the gap. No, picked up by Sizemore. Throw to first, and he got Willie. Gibson covering at first base as Torrey diving for the ball. Couldn't get it. But the ability of Sizemore on this carpet to play so deep took a base hit away from Stargell. That's one of the things about synthetic fields that a lot of people fail to take into account when they first came in. They thought that everybody would wind up getting nothing but ground ball base hits. But you find everybody now playing much deeper, and strong arms, particularly at shortstop, are a very big requisite for a major league shortstop. 4-1 on the out. Zisk is the batter. He takes a strike. Richie forced Stargell in the first inning to end it. This batting at .318. The pitch by Gibson, check swing and a foul. First base side, the count of 0-2. The windup in the 0-2 pitch by Gibson, up and in, backs him off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gibson will work for some pitching room. He's been known to loosen some guys up. Curveball hangs high and a count of 2-2. Most noticeable, the knee surgery on Gibson. He just doesn't follow through like he used to. So extreme. Falling over on the first base side, sometimes going on his glove hand like Jim Bunning did. He pitches more straight up. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a foul right at the feet of the catcher, Simmons. A sinking fastball that time. The count of 2-2. But when you talk about intestinal fortitude or what he's got inside his heart play, very few pitchers have had the recognition that Gibson has in that category. Pitch missed inside. Full count of 3-2. And the payoff pitch to Zisk. He missed inside, aiming the pitch a little bit. It got away from him. Ball 4. That's the first walk allowed by Gibson. Take a look at his log compared to what he's done in previous years. That's the 94th walk he's given up in just 210 innings of pitching. That is not the type of pitching Bob Gibson can do when he's healthy. Most walks he ever issued in his major league career, 103, and that was in 300 innings in 1965. Sagian flied to center field his first time up, takes a slider on the corner, strike 1. Zisk at first, being held by Joe Torrey. The Pirates lead 1-0 and a home run by Oliver in the first inning. This is the bottom of the 4th. Hard shot, first base side, through the glove of Torrey. Down the right field line. Zisk comes to third. Sagian holds at first base. That's a base hit. Just through the glove of Joe Torrey. Well, that's one time the synthetic surface helped us here because the ball got there so quickly as Sagian swinging late on the fastball. Hit it on one hop right to Torrey, but it got between his legs, just trickled off his glove down the right field line, allowing Zisk to get into third. And we've got a threat riding with runners at first and third. Only 1 out, and Kirkpatrick the batter. He's singled in the second inning. The infield is back for 2. The Cardinals have turned over 1 double play. That came in the second inning. Tavares bouncing into it, getting Kirkpatrick. Spanky fouls back out of play. A fastball away from him. Strike 1. Tomorrow evening, a good battle of left-hander Jim Hooker against Lynn McLaughlin, who was a pitcher in the All-Star game here. The runners lead first and third. Fastball in on Kirkpatrick. 1 ball and 1 strike. You can see good pitchers turn it up about a notch or two when they get into trouble. And Gibson, on the last 2 pitches, has really had more on him to Kirkpatrick than he did previously. 1-0 lead, but runners at first and third. Swing and a miss, and he blew that one right by him. Strike 2. Gibson is reaching back. Kirkpatrick, a tough guy to strike out. as tough as anybody on our ball club. And Gibson tried to reach back and pick it up here. Zisk at third. Sankey in at first. Here's the pitch. Ground foul off first by Eddie. And the count holds at a ball and 2 strikes. Attendance tonight, I would guess somewhere around 20,000. A lot of seats available for this series tomorrow and the next night. Should be some very big ball games here. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big sharp breaking ball, and Kirkpatrick, for one of the few times this year, has not put the ball in play in a situation with runners at first and third. And Gibson picks up a very big strikeout. It's his first one of the ball game. And the runners at first and third, and it's up to Tavares now, a right-handed batter. Frank hitting at 247. No home runs. He's driven in 25. The pitch, right there, taking strike 1. The 0-1 pitch, bucked and a foul. Gibson slow getting off the mound that time, and a good try by Tavares. Bob just doesn't move like he used to, and you might as well take advantage of that. And Tavares at great speed has that ability. The count of 0-2. The Cubs lead the Philadelphia Phillies 1-0 in the bottom of the third inning. Phillies got hot for 2 games against the Pirates, but have hit the skid since, and they're still 4.5 like they were when they left here following that Labor Day series. The 0-2 pitch. Foul by Tavares, just staying alive, right at the feet of Teddy Simmons. Count of 0-2. Kind of fallish temperatures here tonight, but a very pleasant day and not too cool an evening. Here's the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, and a good save by Ted Simmons. That was almost a wild pitch. Teddy Simmons smothered that very well. This fellow and Manny Sanguine are probably as durable a catchers as you'll find in the league. They used occasionally Simmons at first or third base, but not quite as much as they do bench. The 1-2 pitch. He is low and away. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tavares hanging tough here. Is extending Gibson a bit. Zisk at third, Sanguine at first, and the Pirates lead 1-0 in the 4th inning with 2 down. The pitch. Looper into shallow right field. Back goes Sizemore. Still going, still going. He's got it. A great running grab by Teddy Sizemore. Almost fell in, but not quite enough. Sizemore showing a lot of range here tonight. The Pirates, no runs on 1 hit, no errors. We strand a couple, and we have completed 4. The Pirates hold a 1-0 lead. Up around Grove City, Pennsylvania, they still remember a home run that was hit by Josh Gibson, a famous black catcher who played for the Homestead Grays. The ball Gibson hit at College Field was still rising when it cleared the left center field fence at 360 feet. And they say it sailed over a row of willow trees and landed beside the boat dock at the far side of Lover's Lagoon. That's some 600 feet from home plate. Now that's a shot worth remembering. And here's a shot worth remembering from Union National Bank. If you bank by mail with them, they pay the postage both ways. And they're the major local bank that does that. Now, before you say that doesn't sound like much, when's the last time you bought stamps? Those little babies really add up at a dime apiece. Why, if you bank by mail just twice a month at Union National, you'll save $4.80 a year, just in postage. And that's enough to buy a little bonbon dish. Yes, at Union National, there's still a bank. Member FDIC. Jerry Royce leading 1-0 goes into the 5th inning against Joe Torre, Vic McBride, and Kenny Reach, the 5, 6, and 7 batters. And while we have a chance, let's pause 20 seconds for our local station.
Now more than ever, the Liberty Cubes are a mess. So now is the time to call on the commuter computer. If you're still trying to figure a way to and from Pittsburgh, have your employer contact the commuter computer to get you moving.
Here's the pitch by Jerry Royce to Joe Torre, leading off the 5th. The curveball bends in there at the knee, strike 1. Torre bounced into a 5-4-3 double play in the 2nd inning. The 0-1 pitch by Royce hit foul off third. He jammed him with that pitch to count of 0-2. Torre, one of those players that suddenly realized you can't play baseball with too much weight on you. Slimmed down and had that great season in 1970. Most valuable player. Just edging out Willie Stargell. Well, he's been edged out more times than anybody. and rather controversial ones, too. That was the year the Pirates won the pennant in 1970. But Torrey got it. The 0-2 pitch, up high, and the count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. Torrey's hit 10 home runs. Tough guy when he goes right up the middle. A 1-2 pitch, swings and misses, strike 3, and Royce picks up number 6. He has struck out 3 in a row here, and Torrey chased a very bad pitch. It was above the bill of the cap. Fake McBride, a swinging bunt single in the second inning. Ruled the base hit by official scorer Charlie Feeney tonight. The throw by Royce hitting him in the back. He went to second base on the air. This fella, the rookie of the year, I would guess. Curveball down low. Greg Gross certainly being given consideration, but haven't been too many guys that have had rookie years like this fella with a winning ball club. Like Looseface and Iron City in his rookie year. High foul, back out of play, and just above our broadcasting booth, 1 ball and 1 strike. Had a very fine time out at the Lincoln Hills Golf Club yesterday at the Lions Club first annual iBank tournament. A great charity event, a lot of the Pirates on hand. The 1-1 pitch, fastball up high, 2 balls and a strike. The youngster by the name of Aubrey from up around in Butler almost broke the course record out there with a 65. The 2-1 pitch, foul, back out of play, off the third base side, actually, to count of 2-2. Art McKinnon received many gifts here tonight, and one of a very fine picture given by Iron City Beer of old Forbes Seal, that nighttime scene. The 2-2 pitch. Hard shot to second base, Stennett to his right. He's up with it. He's got him at first. Hey, what a job Mr. Stennett's done. After a slow start, and you could understand why, a rookie making his first full-time job at second base, taking it away from Dave Cash. Boy, he has gone well. I've mentioned before, 51 consecutive games without an error. He has handled 3 chances here this evening, 320 times now without making an error. Kenny Reitz, first ball hitting, fouls back out of play, strike 1. He flied to center field his first time up. Well, we mentioned that Royce doesn't strike out too many, or he didn't this year, and he has 6 already. That's a season high for 9 innings for him. Now, he's changed his pitching style. The adrenaline blowing a little bit faster through the veins here tonight, I would guess. Pitch missing inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies got a run in the bottom of the third. They're tied 1-1. Tom Vittori, I believe, pitching that game for the Cubs. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a foul. Back out the glove of Sanguin. Talk about guys that are tough to walk. This fella last year drew fewer walks than anybody in the National League, only 8. I think he's walked a few more times this year. He has 22 times. They've made him be a bit more selective. And a good hitter for him. Hitting at .279. Kenny Reitz. And about as good a third baseman as you'll find in baseball. A 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And Royce just leaned on nothing but fastball that time. He strikes out 2 in this inning. He has 7 in the ball game. And he leads as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Pirates out in front, 1-0.
1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, this is Gary, and the number is 1. If your inspection sticker has the number 1 on it, it's time to have your car inspected.
Do you know the number on your inspection sticker? If your Pennsylvania inspection sticker is number 1, now's the time to get your car inspected. Remember, do it now, before your number's up.
Yes, stickers for stickers.
The batting average for remission for AML hyperglycemia was about an hour and a half.
How would you react if you knew there was only a year and a half to live? I'm John Hadar, inviting you to listen to 60 to 6 News tonight for a new series, Life's Final Adventure. A look at how a terminal patient faces a fatal diagnosis. Join us this evening during 60 to 6 News here on KDKA.
We applause you here in the background for Jerry Royce, who is on his way to a good ball game here tonight. Swings, he's the batter, fouls the pitch, back out of play, strike 1. Jerry flied to left field in the 3rd inning. Royce, a former Cardinal, and when Augie Bush got a little bit angry over there, decided to clean house, and he was one of the guys that he shipped down to Houston. Joe Brown traded Milt May for him, and it's been a big trade. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball to center field. Well hit. They McBride with great speed on the warning track has got it for the out. That is the best hit ball of the season by Jerry Royce. But the speediest guy in the ballpark, Vic McBride, ran it down on the warning track in center field. There's a big ball game for the Bucks, and they're playing good baseball here tonight. They didn't play bad baseball on the road at all, except for that one contest in Montreal where you just bombed 17-2. But defensively, they've done the job. Rennie Stennett, 0 for 2. Popped to short, line to right field. Had his hitting streak snapped in Montreal. Swings on a curve, and he missed it, strike one. Gibson at age 38. He'll be 39 in just 2 months. An amazing athlete. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball to third. Reached the good fielder. Comes up with it. He throws him out at first. 2 down. Gibson coming up with a sinking fastball that time. Turned it over inside on Runny. Got an easy out at third. That was 2 down. Nobody on. The Pirates have an opportunity to get some 2-out lightning going again as they did in the first inning. That's the only run of the ball game. The Pirates with 2 down in the first inning. Oliver got a changeup from Gibson. Hit his 9th home run. They shift on against Ritchie. Fastball away. Ball 1. Boston leads Detroit 3-2. That's after 4 innings of play at Fenway Park. Hebner singled in 2 at-bats. Takes a fastball, a tie from Gibson. 2 balls and no strikes. Lou Brock and Kenny Reitz, the only 2 players on the left side of the entire ballpark. The 2-0 pitch. Foul back out of play as he jams Hebner. And the count is 2 balls and a strike. Brock is 100 feet off the line in left field. Reitz guarding the line a little bit closer than he had been before. He's about 20 feet off the line. Foul by Hebner off the third base side. And the count of 2-2. Tyson directly behind the bag at second base. Moving over a bit now as Gibson has acquired 2 strikes on Hebner. He has shifted a little bit more over on the third base side of second. The windup on the 2-2 pitch. Curveball bends outside. Full count of 3-2. He tried to bring it over the outside corner, but it just hung out there. Full count of 3-2. Oliver waiting on deck. And the pitch. Hard shot, first base side. Torrey will take it unassisted. That'll retire the Pirates. And the 5th inning, we go down in order. We've completed 5 in a rapidly played ball game. The Pirates lead 1-0.
Some people think we play ping pong all day. They're wrong. The USO isn't all fun and games. Today, the USO has millions of problems like this one in Germany.
My family's going crazy living in a tiny apartment. Where can we live?
Today's USO has millions of problems like this one in Asia.
I'm hooked on drugs. Where can I get help?
Or this problem in Athens.
Our marriage is breaking up. Can you help us?
Today's USO has little time for ping pong. We've got serious work to do. We've got lots of new problems here and overseas. The problems are big. How big? Well, if someone asks you, who needs the USO? Tell them,
We do! We do!
Over 5 million American military personnel and their families need today's USO. And because we get no government funds, we need all your support. Please give to USO through the United Way or local USO campaign.
Sixth inning for St. Louis. It'll be Tyson, Mike Tyson, Bob Gibson, and Lou Brock to go against Jerry Royce. And the fans being reminded that next Sunday against the New York Mets, it'll be Fan Appreciation Day, and they're getting a look at some of the prizes that fans will be getting on that big annual day. Hope you'll be on hand for it. It'll be a big day for you, and I hope for the Bucks too as they take on the Mets. Oh well, we've got the opportunity here. Let's pause 20 seconds for our local station.
The Pirates have really got to put it together now. And if you want them to drive for 5 and take the World Series too, now's the time to back the Bucks. Show them we're with them all the way. KDKA thinks Pirate baseball is a serious business.
All right, Mike Tyson standing in. He singled the right field back in the third, was erased on a force play. Yankees in Baltimore scoreless at New York at the end of 2. Pirates leading here 1-0 end of 5. Home run, Al Oliver, that's it. Royce and Gibson are blowing hard at each other. Curveball, a low and away, ball 1. Tyson, Gibson, and Brock here in the Cardinals' 6th inning. Now the 1-0. Up high, ball 2 to Mike. Single duck in the 3rd. There's a strike. Ball 2, strike 1. Swing and a miss on a curveball, strike 2. Royce thus far, bearing down, has just bowed his back and is going at him. Send our best wishes to Bob McWilliams of Mars, Pennsylvania, recuperating from surgery. Foul back, 2-2. He's a great Pirate fan. Mike Tyson. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Right-hand batter. Outfield shallow, straight out. Royce delivers, and a fly ball to center, and Oliver getting under. 1 out. That'll bring up Bob Gibson. He struck out in the 3rd. Well, Carnegie Tech in those days. Carnegie Mellon now. One of their great and most immortal athletes, Howard Harpster, and his wife Peggy, taking in the ball game tonight. Howard, the quarterback and all-time All-America from Carnegie Tech. Member of the Football Hall of Fame and the Helms Foundation. Foul back by Gibson. Good rip. Howard, of course, engineered, along with his teammates, 2 of the most stunning upsets in all-time football history against Notre Dame, and in which he drop-kicked them into submission most of the time. In the mud at Forbes Field and out at Cartier Field at Notre Dame back in the 20s. Good to see Harpo. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gibson. 1-0 Pittsburgh, 1 out, none on. Change up. In there, called strike 2. Beautiful. Nice to have Lanny Fratari from the Charleston Charlies here with us. The voice of the Charleston Charlies, our top farm club. Ball 1 and strike 2. We'll have Lanny on with us a little bit. Young man announcing in our chain. Fastball inside and a 2-2 count. Tom Seaver and John Matlack scheduled to go tomorrow in a twilighter as the Mets in Montreal were rained out. 2-2. Foul back. This may change their pitching assignment when they come in here. And the weather forecast for tomorrow is not good in Montreal either. And they may have to hold Montreal over there, that is New York over there, to Thursday. Every little thing helps. 2-2. High, ball 3 to Gibby. So Gibson's run the count full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, none on. Pirates leading by the score of 1-0. Home run by Al Oliver. Pitch. Foul back. Three balls, 2 strikes. Pitch down, and whoa, man, that was close. Just inside, and Royce thought he had him. That's a walk. That's going to bring up Lou Brock now, who's 0 for 2. He struck out and bounced into a fourth fly. So Bob Gibson walks on down to first with his warm-up jacket on. Pirates leading 1-0. Gibson kept fouling them off and finally worked it down to 3-2. And I'm watching on the Cardinal replay, and I'll tell you something. Oh, my, that pitch looked like strike 3 on the replay from the Cardinals telecast. And you could see Sanguin just screaming. But it was called a ball. So we have now Gibson at first and Brock the batter. Foul ball. No balls and a strike. The outfielder on to the left. Right fielder is this, giving Lou about 80 feet of the line. Foul tip, strike two. Royce tonight pitching with more velocity than I've seen him come up with in quite a while. His adrenaline is flowing here tonight. Pirates leading 1-0 as a result of a 2-out homer by Al Oliver, a ball he had to hit with a 9-iron. It was that low off the plate, just barely above it when he banged it into right for the home run. No balls, 2 strikes. Gibson, the short lead at first, held by Kirkpatrick. He's running. Throwing is Sanguillen down to Stennett, and they tag Gibson. He's out. That's an unusual situation. Somebody missed something there. The play was 2-4 on Gibson. The count is a ball and 2 strikes to Brock. And I can't believe but what somebody missed a sign. Somebody missed a sign or misinterpreted one. You don't normally see a pitcher running in that situation. Sanguillen now has cut down 2 like that. Brock in the 3rd, and now Gibson here in the 6th. Oh. That'll be interesting to find out what happened there later on. 1-2 pitch. Check swing foul to the left, out of play. Either Brock missed the sign if there was one, and if there was one and he missed it or didn't miss it, there might not have been one and Gibson thought there was one. That's the only way I can explain it to you. Ball 1 and strike 2 to Brock. Royce ready. Stretched him out swinging. And that is number 8. What a job. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Pirates on top, 1-0.
This is Jeff Linder, postal reporter at your local post office. At this very moment, right in front of me, an unbelievable thing is happening. I'm watching a giant machine sort letters at the incredible speed of 9 letters a second. I'm going to try to interview some of these letters. Let's see how it goes. Hi there. Are you the... Oh, that letter's gone already. I'd better move up the line a bit and see if I can get another letter to talk to me. Hi, where are you going?
To Wyoming, son. Zip code 82190.
That voice you just heard was a letter. Let's talk to another one. And where are you going, little letter?
To my grandma in Ohio. Zip code 43202.
Uh-oh. One letter has just been taken out, so everything's slowing down. Pardon me, letter, but what's happened here?
I have to go to the no-zip sorting bin. Didn't have a zip code.
But you were just going across town.
Still need a local zip code, and they're right in the phone book.
Well, I guess a letter going across town needs a zip code as much as a letter going across the country. This is Jeff Linder reporting to you from the post office.
Now Oliver standing in. Gibson's delivery right off the bat handle down to second baseman Sizemore. Bad hop. He controls it beautifully and throws him out. That'll bring up Richie Zisk. Bounced into a fourth play, drew a walk. Gibson wasting no time. Right back in there, sharply. A check that brings up Stargell. High fly, left field, Brock. Richie Zisk is a batter. Bounced into the force and walked. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. No balls and a strike. 2 down, none on. Zisk a foul up the long first, running over forward is Torrey. And he's got it. That'll retire the side. So Gibson disposes of the Bucks in the 6th inning here very quickly. At the end of 6, we're 1-0 Pittsburgh. When you need a brake job, make sure you get new brake shoes, too. Now, how do you do that? Well, the surest way is to ask for Delco brakes. Because with Delco brakes, you always get new shoes as well as new linings. Delco brake shoes are properly shaped and finished at the factory, and they've been treated with a special rust inhibitor. Now, the lining on Delco brake shoes also has a unique feature. called Crown Ground Finish. This special finishing process makes the break-in period easier for you because it lets the lining shape itself quickly to the drum. They're engineered to prevent pulling to the right or the left during break-in. So if you're in a car right now and those brakes don't feel just right, stop at the red, white, and blue Delco sign. The more you know, the more you'll want Delco. Available at Homestead Automotive Supply, 846 Forest Avenue in West Homestead, Cozell Auto Parts, 2774 South Park Road in Bethel Park, and West Liberty Auto Parts at 1789 West Liberty Avenue in the South Hills.
The final innings of tonight's game will be sent your way by Iron City Beer. When you're really ready to pour it on, pour on the iron. Sizemore, Smith, and Simmons will lead it off in the 7th inning against Jerry Royce. He struck out Sizemore in the 1st inning, got him to fly to center field in the 4th. Jerry's had 8 strikeouts so far, and 6 was the previous high in 9 innings for him. The attendance tonight, 21,458. Here's a pitch to Sizemore, popped up off the right side. Ronnie Stennett started back, but he'll come on to make the grab. And Gibson and Royce are setting them down in order here. That is 12 in a row for Jerry Royce. Gibson is retired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. This game, just an hour and a half old, not quite an hour and a half, and we're into the 7th inning. Smith 0 for 2, struck out his last time up. Curveball by Jerry is down low, ball 1. Pirates pull around left field on Smith. Fastball popped up behind home plate. Sanguin appears to have a play. He does, near the screen. He's got him. 2 down. Well, a crowd of 21,458 seeing a tight ball game, as you might have expected, with a guy like Gibson and Royce doing. Tomorrow, much of the same should be happening with Jim Hooker, who's been as consistent as anybody on our staff, going against their top pitcher, Lynn McLaughlin. McLaughlin, 16-9. He's the winningest pitcher on the Cardinals, and an earned run average of 2.67. Ted Simmons walked and struck out in 2 plate appearances. 1-0 lead for Royce. The curveball is up high, ball 1. Jerry thought he had a strike that time, took a long look in. Rooker's record, he'll be going tomorrow, 12-11, an earned run average, 2.95. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. This is a long ball potential for the Cardinals here. Smith, Simmons, and Torrey in that order. 22, 17, and 10 home runs, respectively. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Line drive, left field, down into the corner, picked off by Stargell. He'll hold it with a long single. Simmons doesn't run that well, and Willie hustles the ball into second. Now the string ends at 13 in a row, and it brings up Joe Torrey, who bounced into a double play in the 2nd, struck out in the 5th inning. The Tigers got 2 runs in the 6th inning off George Medich. They lead now they didn't get it off Medich. They lead 4-3 into the bottom of the 6th inning at Fenway Park. Baltimore playing at Shea Stadium against New York, no score after 3. Jim Palmer going in that game. 2-out single, time called, and I believe a balk called on Jerry Royce. It is. Well, a big move by Royce, evidently broke his hands, and time called now as Murtaugh wants to discuss this case. The television set here. I didn't see the move by Royce. The umpire at first base got the attention first of. They stepped out is what happened. They called time. The home plate umpire had called time when Royce called the balk. There was time called in the ball game when that balk was called. An unusual set of circumstances. Murtaugh lost the argument, but very definitely on here. A balk was called as time was called by the batter, Joe Torrey. Now, they've got a runner in the scoring position. That's the tying run, and Torrey at bat. Line drive, it's fair down the right field, left field line. It's a base hit. It's in there for 2, and Torrey ties the ball game. Well, that's going to be a disputed play, I'll tell you that. Royce was called for a balk after the home plate umpire had called time. The first base umpire called the balk. That was Jerry Dale. We lost the argument. The runner moved into scoring position, and Torrey quickly doubled down the left field line to drive in his 64th run, and we've got a tie game 1-1.
Murtaugh very quickly came out to argue with Doug Harvey, but he didn't argue very long. Evidently, Harvey said that he didn't call time before the balk was called, but it sure looked like that on the television replay. Well, Royce now pitching for life here with a tie game. We've got a runner at second and Torrey. The batter is Bake McBride. The pitch by Royce. He is up high, ball one. Erie uncorked a fastball that time. Now the Cardinals come back with 2 outs and nobody on. Simmons lining a single in the left field. Torrey doubling to left. And it's tied it up 1-1. The 1-0 pitch. Foul, back out of play, down the left field line, rather. The count of 1-1. Mike Ryan had hustled out of the Pirates dugout. Joining him now, Mario Mendoza. They're going down to the bullpen, and some stirring down there, but no thrilling as yet. Torrey at second base. He's the go-ahead run in a tie game. 7th inning. Curveball hung high and inside. 2 balls and a strike. Jerry checking at second. Watches Torrey. The pitch now to McBride. High pop-up off the left side. Tavares will make the play, I believe, in foul territory. He does, and that'll retire the Cardinals in the 7th inning. But they get a gift run. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, a balk, and 1 left, and we'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning, tied 1-1.
You know, baseball's full of little rituals that stay the same year after year. Baseball fans have their rituals, too, like getting the house ready to watch the Pirates with a case or 2 of ice-cold Iron City beer. Just make sure they're all frosty cold. Then you can sit back and relax and enjoy the game without worrying about a thing. With a case of 12 ounces, you've got a bullpen that'll hold up for a lot of extra innings. You've got a supply of the richest, tastiest beer a baseball fan ever had. From the very first pitch, the hearty, robust flavor of Iron City beer will make a called third strike a little easier to take, or a Pirate home run a little more special. And that rich flavor stays with you beer after beer, inning after inning. There's no better way to enjoy the ups and downs and the constant excitement of Pirate baseball than with a tall, frosty Iron City beer. So stop by your distributor and pick up a case or 2 of 12 ounces or 16 ounces and get ready. When you're really ready to pour it on, hey, pour on the iron.
Well, a rather odd call has cost the Pirates a run here, and not much of an argument, as Murtaugh went out to argue with Doug Harvey, but on the screen, the shot from behind center field, or behind the mound, showed Royce on the mound with his hands at the belt, and about the time he came there, Joe Torrey stepped out. The home plate umpire called time. Royce broke his hands, and the umpire's first called balk on him. They moved him into second, and a double scored him. He wouldn't have scored from first base on that double by Torrey down the left field line. Simmons doesn't run that well. Pitch to Sagian, opening up the 7th inning, is outside for a ball. And a ground ball at second base. Sizemore will take the out on Sagian. 1 down. That's 9 in a row for Bob Gibson since the single by Sagian in the 4th inning. Kirkpatrick with a single and a strikeout in 2 times at bat steps in. This is a big out of the ball game for Gibson in the 4th inning. With runners at 1st and 3rd, Kirkpatrick, who doesn't strike out much, was struck out by Gibson. Fastball down low, ball 1, and he did it with good hard stuff in the first 2 strikes, and then got him on a big, sharp breaking curveball. Pirates have activity in their bullpen. Fastball in there, taken by Eddie, and the count of 1-1. I would assume it's Dave Justy and Ramon Hernandez. It is. Tie game, 1-1. And the pitch. Changeup is just too high. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 pitch, down low, ball 3. Tavares, the on-deck batter, but as I said, Mendoza has gone down to the bullpen. And Murtaugh usually pinch hits at this time. We are for station identification. Let's pause 10 seconds on the Pirates Baseball Network.
All the good sports are on Pirates, KDKA, Pittsburgh.
Kirkpatrick bouncing weakly to second base, and Sizemore's got him at first. 2 down. Tavares will stay in the ball game and bat here in the 7th inning with
Nobody on, 2 out, and we're tied 1-1. The windup by Gibson on the pitch. Low and outside, ball 1. That's 10 in a row for Gibson. Jerry Royce, the on-deck batter. The 1-0 pitch. Hard ball right up the middle. Picked off by Tyson. Dropped it. He has no play. A well-hit ball up the middle past Gibson to Tyson playing over there. Tried to cut it off at the bag. Had the play apparently. But it bobbled out of his glove and an error charged to the shortstop, Mike Tyson. Well, the Bucks have life and see what Danny Murtaugh does. He's going to stay with Jerry Royce and not go to the bullpen here in the 8th inning. Royce will stay in the game. Miguel Delaunay heading down to the bullpen. Here's the pitch to Jerry. Foul out of play down the left field line, 4 straight. Cubs get 3 runs in the 5th inning. They lead the Phillies 4-1. Cardinals in another tie contest. They've had a few of those this past week. Curveball up high by Gibson. 1 ball and 1 strike. 25 innings in Shea Stadium last week. 17 in Philadelphia. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball weakly to second base, and Sizemore retreating, throws him out at third. They're the Pirates in the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. And we've completed 7, and we're tied 1-1.
Well, we're moving right down to the end of another great year of baseball. And about this time, a lot of us start thinking about the playoffs and the series. I'm sure you'll be glued to the TV and radio no matter what team makes it. And you know one thing you got to have with you is Iron City beer. It's a great beer. Just pop open a big cold bottle of iron and see for yourself. Only the very best ingredients can give a beer that golden color. And only the finest brewing can create a creamy head like that. And a freshly poured glass of iron, well, that's a picture of perfection that every real beer drinker understands. Now, go ahead. Take a sip. A beer that good looking was meant for tasting. A hearty and tangy flavor, robust and rich as can be. Believe you me, it's pure beer drinking satisfaction. Yes, sir, that's a great beer. Iron City beer. Now you make sure you've always got a case of Iron City on hand. Because when you're really ready to pour it on, you can pour on the iron.
Well, we go now into the 8th inning, and I'll tell you something, Nellie. I don't understand this rule of baseball that legislates against. I think it's tough enough for pitchers as it is. But without any question, as you called it there in the 7th inning, Simmons was the runner at first base, and Royce goes to the stretch, and just as he's ready to pitch, Torrey steps out, and Doug Harvey put his hand up for time, and Royce made what's now the cardinal sin, stepped off the mound, and Dale calls it a buck.
He broke his hands before he stepped up, which is, the common thing. You call time, you can't make a play.
But why would they have a rule where the rule says that when the pitcher's ready to deliver, the batter cannot get out of there? If he does, it's at his own risk. If it's a strike, it's a strike. If it's a ball, it's a ball. I think that rule is definitely against the pitchers, and I agree with your call 100%. I just think it was very unfair what happened there. Torrey stepped out, and it was, in my opinion, I think he's smart enough to just get ready to do what he did, and he got a balk out of it. I really believe that's how smart Torrey is.
Very well be. He's been around long enough to understand those things, but I still think the call was wrong.
I'd like to be able to express it more strongly than that, and I know you agree with me. Here's Reed's 0 for 2. Fouled away. And just a lousy rule in the way it was interpreted, and it was very poorly handled. I don't blame Royce for being upset, and I haven't any idea why we aren't out there arguing yet. I wouldn't let him up on that one. Here's the 0-1. Popped him up. First baseman Kirkpatrick. Well, let's win the game and make it academic. 1 out. Tyson 1 for 2. Royce had pitched a magnificent ball game. He had to be unsettled with that balk call. And then Torrey got the line shot down the left field line for the double.
Jack Heidemann pinch hitting, Ben.
Good. I hope they don't have the success we just looked at in the last road trip. I've never seen so many pinch hitters. We only got 1 out on the whole last road trip that came off the bench. That was Tony Taylor, and he drove in a run with it. Heidemann batting at .276, no homers and 3 runs better than he's batting for Tyson.
They got a host of players there, don't they?
They sure do. The way they're warming it Rabowski up, I got a feeling they might be getting ready to go for somebody to bat in place of Gibson, too. That bullpen of theirs has been pretty impregnable of late. Outside to Heidemann for a ball.
You can't go 11-3 in September without having a good relief man. And he's been unbeatable.
Well, against the Phillies the other day, he just struck out the side. Starting with Montañez and company down inside a ball, 2-0 to Heidemann.
With runners at first and third, one in, and nobody out.
Zip, 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 wasn't it? Well, I'll tell you, this one right here in the 7th inning defies description. Now they get away with it. 2-0. Bounce down to shortstop Tavares. Heidemann's out. Still away. Well, Gibson's going to bat. And that's not a bad choice. You know, he's not exactly a lamb up there. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He walked on a pitch that split the plate. On a 3-2 delivery, they came back to the Cardinals, did on their replay, and it was right smack dab over the plate, thigh high. Called ball 4, and we died. But then Gibson got one treated to him the same way with Tavares up there in the 7th inning, right over the plate, called the ball. So they're on our buddy down behind the dish. Curve high ball one. Baltimore and the Yankees scoreless into 4. And let's see, it's 4-3 now. Detroit over Boston into 7. 1-0 pitch. Gibson a strike, 1-1. We're in the 8th inning. 2 down, none on. Score tied 1-1. And the 1-1 delivery. Popped into shallow center, running hard Tavares. Coming on Oliver. And Oliver drops the ball at shallow center. And he's going to be charged with an error. Looked like he might have taken his eye off the ball with Tavares running out as hard as he could. We'll watch it again in the Cardinal replay. It was a can of corn, really, in the shallow center. Tavares back. Oliver comes on. Well, he just put his glove down there and his head wasn't on it.
I'll say one thing. Stennett and Tavares really wanted that ball. They went after it, but as soon as they saw Oliver coming, he evidently hollered. They gave way to him. So there wasn't any problem about a possible collision there. I think Al, just as you said, kind of took his eye off the ball.
Brock is taking his time coming out to give Gibson, who didn't even run very hard, a chance to get some more breath. Brock is 0 for 3. You know, it's tough enough beating these Cardinals, and the one tough thing about it, though, over the last 2 years, it's unbelievable. Nothing against the umpiring, but it so happens that every decision that's been made on a close decision, the Pirates haven't won one. Starting with the triple play opening night, we never got.
One here last year.
And one here last year. So you go over 2 years of span, and we just haven't had the call go our way yet. But if it's not to go, it's not to go. Over the head of Brock, and boy, did he get knocked flat. Strike 1. Ball 1, rather. I mean, he just went flat down. Heidemann has gone out to loosen up. Tyson was batted for by Heidemann. 1 ball and no strikes. We'll look to first the pitch. Foul back, and I'll say one thing, Brock isn't bailing out. He's hanging in there.
I think Jerry got a little annoyed when the error occurred, and he got annoyed on the block, and I think he just reached back and wanted to throw something as hard as he could. He wasn't too worried about where it was going to wind up. He was letting out some frustration.
And he let it out pretty good. Fouled away off the left line, out of play. Well, I'll tell you one thing. 21,458 are witnessing one whale of a ball game, and about 22,000 are missing one.
We play 1 tomorrow and 1 on Thursday here, Rod.
Yeah.
Get some people out here. Fans here Labor Day made a great impact on our ball club against the Phillies that day.
Sure it is. All right, 1-2 to Brock. Knocks him off the plate with a sweeping inside fastball. 2-2. Short tied 1-1. Bob Addy from Washington here. I'll tell you, this press box is filled with writers from all over the eastern part of the United States. Sports Illustrated, everybody in town. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gibson the runner at first base. Brock the batter. Pitch to him. Strike him out swinging. And Jerry Royce has never pitched a stronger game in his life as far as he's been a Pirate. He blew that ball right by him. No runs, no hits, one error, one left. And we go to the bottom of the ninth, or rather the bottom of the eighth. And the score, 1-1.
You know, there's something special about baseball season. It seems to make everything just a little bit nicer, a little bit better. Take beer, for instance. For some reason I'll probably never understand, beer tastes better during baseball season than at any other time. An ice-cold Iron City beer tastes great all the time. Don't get me wrong on that. But round about now, well, it's something else again, my friends. The chill seems chillier, the head seems thicker and smoother. The color a tad more sparkling golden. And that rich, robust, real beer flavor lights up your taste buds like nothing I know. Yes, if baseball gets in your blood around this time of the year, you know what I mean. So stop in at your favorite tavern and order up a tall, frosty Iron City beer. And make a toast if you want, to baseball, to the Pirates, to yourself. Baseball season is something to celebrate. And Iron City beer is the best way to do it. When you're really ready to pour it on, pour on the iron.
All right. Heidemann has gone in at shortstop now. As we go on the bottom of the eighth, Stennett, Hefner, and Oliver. Tied up 1-1. Send best wishes along to Mrs. Minnie Beam. A happy 94th birthday to her. Fouled away. We understand she's the Aunt Minnie of Rosie Rosewell fame. Might add, by the way, Rosie's widow Jip is in town visiting with her children, and she'll be out at the ballpark Friday. Mom Rosewell. Ball 1 and strike 1. He's retired now, living down in St. Petersburg, up here for visit with Alice and Bill and the grandchildren. The 1-1 to Stennett. Low from Gibson, ball 2. 2-1, and the fans are now beginning to roar. They want to see him bang here against Bob Gibson. Ball 2, strike 1. With Stennett awaiting the delivery, and here she comes. A high slider, ball 3. That's the roar we want to hear. Come on. 3 balls and a strike. Gibson again ready. He has fired a strike on the outside corner, and the count is now 3-2. Stennett started to run it on down to first base. Gibson back, fouled away. Wasting no time. You don't dare duck your head with Hoot out on the mound. You better get in there and be ready. Here's the 3-2. And it's grounded up towards Sizemore. He's up. He throws. 1 out. Going to bring up Richie Hefner with a single in 3 at-bats. Back in the 3rd inning. Blooping into right center. Pirates and the Cardinals locked in a 1-1 duel. Oliver homered in the 1st inning. His 9th home run of the year. They're going to infield shift on Hefner now with Heidemann going over on the first base side along with Sizemore and Torrey. They're giving him everything off the left field side of the line. He takes it high and away, ball 1. Cardinals scored in the 7th inning with 2 down, Simmons single to left. And then for the life of me, how we let him get away with a buck call on Royce, I don't know. And then Torrey doubled, and that drove in the tying run. Ball 1, strike 1. That is a rule that I just can't understand, the way it occurred. And I got to believe that Torrey engineered it. That's how smart I think he is. 1-1, foul back, ball 1, strike 2. Just as Royce was set to deliver, Torrey stepped out. And there isn't any question about it. The plate umpire put his right hand up as Nellie called for time. Royce then stepped off the mound, and Dale called a balk on him. Here's the 1-2 pitch, up inside, 2-2. And then Torrey hit a ball right down the left field line for the double to tie it up. It would not have tied up the game if he'd have been the runner at first. 2-2 pitch, changeup popped up. Heidemann running back into shallow center, coming on McBride, and it'll be McBride. 2 down, here's Al Oliver, whose home run back in the 1st inning gave us the 1-0 lead. In for a strike to Al. He's questioning the call. No No balls, one strike. Outfield around to the left side. Gibson sends it in low for a ball. Two down, 1-1 pitch. Inside, ball 3. Almost hit him. 2-1. Now Oliver, the batter, on deck. Willie Stargell. Here's the 2-1. Inside, under his chin, ball 3. 3-1. Gibson back on the 3-1 pitch. Weekly bounce back to Gibson. He flags it down and throws him out. We've gone through 8 innings and the score's tied 1-1. We've gone through 8 innings and the score's tied 1-1.
You know, it's usually not a good idea to do things halfway, but every rule has its exception. And the folks at Iron City have come up with the exception to that one, the half a case. 12 12-ounce cans of rich, rewarding Iron City beer. And it comes in one convenient package. It makes buying Iron City beer just a little bit easier, because you can pick up a half a case of Iron City cans at your favorite tavern. So the next time you're in there enjoying the company, the friendship, and a couple of cold drafts of Iron City beer, remember to ask for a half a case before you head for home. Now that way you'll be darn sure you have enough Iron City beer on hand in case friends drop by. Or even to sit back in your favorite chair to spoil yourself a little with the most beer pleasure you can get from a 12-ounce can. From the moment you crack open the can and watch that sparkling golden richness tumble into your favorite glass, you know you're in for a special treat. So treat yourself to half a case of Iron City beer. When you're really ready to pour on the iron.
For all you budding artists, and even those of you who create art for a living, here's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win $2,500 and gain some fame at the same time. You know, 1976 is the National League's 100th year, and they're looking for a logo, a symbol to use throughout that season. The league was founded in New York in 1876, so come up with your idea of a National League logo and mail it to Logo Contest, Pittsburgh Pirates, Three River Stadium, 600 Stadium Circle, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The deadline, December 1st of this year. Now, you don't have to live in the Pittsburgh area to enter. Anyone can enter the contest. All entries become the property of the National League for use by the league. All right, the batter Sizemore, and ball 1 to him. He's 0 for 3. Struck out, fly to center, pop to second. Royce back with a breaking ball on the inside. Ball 2, 2-0. Sizemore, Smith, and Simmons here in the 9th inning for the Cardinals. Game tied 1-1. Pirates broke on top of the homer by Oliver. The Cardinals tied it in the 7th in a play that I'll not believe for a long time. 2-0 pitch, ball 3. Royce has just pitched his heart out tonight with 9 strikeouts. Visibly upset on the balk call in the 7th inning. Strike, count 3-1. Bob Skinner comes out, signals to the bullpen, get a lefty and a righty up. 3-1 the count here to Sizemore. He has walked him. That is the 2nd walk. 3rd walk. That's going to bring up Reggie Smith, who's 0 for 3. Reggie popped the first, struck out, fouled out to the catcher. Justy up. Hernandez up. They're going to be looking here. Hebner comes up tight at 3rd to Reggie. Score tied 1-1, 9th inning. Pitch. High for a ball. Time call to Barrison to try to settle Jerry down a moment. $21,458. Here's a look over, now the 1-0. Bounce toward 3rd, past Hebner in for a base hit. Stargell up, and they have runners at 1st and 2nd and nobody out. Talking back again on that 7th inning play with 2 out in the balk call when Torrey stepped out just as Royce was set to deliver. Then Royce stepped off the mound, and they called the box, sending Simmons into 2nd. This is not the first time we have discussed this play. We very vividly remember talking about it in Chicago on this last road trip, and again in Philadelphia, and again in Montreal. And now here tonight, it comes up at a time that gives the Cardinals a chance to tie the game. And they took advantage of it and did. And I still believe that Torrey stepped out at just the last moment, hoping to induce Kabak. It's like taking the long count at the wrong time for the defense and trying to draw an offside. Or a fast count. And that's wise baseball, but it's a rule that is enforceable to the detriment of the pitcher. Delivered high, ball one to Simmons. He shortened up his O to bunt. They have 2 men on, nobody out, 1-1 ball game in the ninth. Simmons looks down again to Vern Benson. Inside, ball 2. It didn't look like he was going to try to bunt then.
Talk about a game of inches, and it certainly wasn't a ball hit by Reggie Smith. That ball just, another foot toward Hebner's left. He got a sure double play ball. The ball wasn't hit well at all, but just had eyes on it.
Well, that's what this game's all about.
You get somebody to hit one hard and hit one right after.
Well, we got to do that. This is an easy guy to double if he can get the old hoot out. Here's the 2-0. And it's foul down the left field line. He really whacked that one. Any way you cut it or slice it, this game resolves right back in that 7th inning buck call. Two balls and a strike. Foul away, and Royce is driving it in there. 2-2. Simmons walked, struck out, got a single, and then was awarded second on this controversial buck we're talking about. And then Torrey, with Royce visibly upset, got a double right on the left field line, and then tied up the game. Now, Sizemore is walked and Smith is singled. And the count is 2-2. To Simmons. Did he strike out? He did. He's gone. They can't advance the runners. He's out for swinging. Simmons didn't think he did, but the first base umpire said he did. That's a strikeout. The runners can advance if they want to. Simmons is dead. They don't have to tag him. He's down here arguing with it, but I don't know why he should argue. He really swung on that one. Here it is again on the replay. His bat came all the way around, and now if he doesn't think on that re-swing, Nellie, that he didn't swing, I'll quit.
I don't know how Doug Harvey missed it, to be honest with you, because he didn't call the play at all, and finally did get it from the first base umpire.
My goodness, the bat came all the way up around his left shoulder.
Sure did. He had a good follow-through.
If he'd have hit it, it might have been a home run. Here's Torrey now. Bounced to the double play. Struck out and hit a double. 2 men on. Popped him up in the shallow right. Ziska's going over for it. Tagging it. Second is Sizemore. Ziska's got it. Sizemore's coming for third. And they'll have runners on the corners with 2 down. To McBride, who's 1 for 3. An infield single in the second inning. Bounced to second and fouled out to the shortstop.
I'll tell you, with McBride coming up in this situation with 2 outs, you better be alert. You can't play back too far on this guy because he has great speed. And Don Osborne coming out, they may just be going to a left-hander here and try and pitch to him Hernandez. I don't know. But I'm not too sure what's going to happen here. You've got great speed at third base in Sizemore. You've got it in first in Reggie Smith. And you got unbelievable speed at the plate in Bake McBride.
Well, and we got a left-hander out there pitching already in Royce. I think they're worrying about if they're going to let Smith run, let him run.
That's right.
I think that's what I'd be talking about. I don't know. He's going to run from first base. Let him have it. Unless you know you can throw. One of the great plays there is to fake the throw through and turn and fire immediately to third. You might hang up the guy at third base. I haven't seen it used too often, but I'll guarantee you it's great success. When you throw like you're going right to second with the ball, but you don't release it. And then you nail that guy at third. Pitch. McBride a foul back, and he hung a fastball right in his eyes, and he swung it foul straight on the net. Bake McBride. Runners at first and third. 2 down, 9th inning. Score tied 1-1. Get him out and Scogel will win it for you, Royce. You get this guy out, and Wilbur will take him out of here. Here's a look in the 0-1. Fouled off the bat, and he didn't want to foul that one off. He wanted his bat out of the way, and it was up high inside. Fouled it back, strike 2.
A great bit of pitching to get out of this situation, and right into the heart of the lineup, the way this thing all started with a walk and base hit.
Well, he's one pitch away from it. Either way, that's the funny part about this game. You can be one pitch away from success or failure. Oh, what a game this is. Tied up 1-1 in the ninth inning. Runners at first and third. McBride the batter. Speed all over the place. Royce checks his runners. Comes to the plate. High and inside for the ball. 1-2 to Bake. This guy's a great baseball player, Bake McBride. Cardinals are loaded with him. Make no mistake about that. Probably have the fastest team in all of baseball. Their outfield would be only challenged for speed by the Giants. That'd be some race. Put those three outfielders from San Francisco up against these three. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bake McBride. He's up there left-handed. Royce checks his runners, comes to the plate. High, ball 2, 2-2. I've not seen Jerry pitch with such determination as he's pitched tonight. A 2 ball, 2 strike count to Bake McBride. Sizemore walked. Went to second on a single by Smith. Simmons struck out. Torrey flied to right. Now the 2-2 to McBride. High, ball 3. 3-2. Now the runner first will be off and going. Royce is pitching for everything he's got right here. Hernandez and Justy are ready, if they need them. They've had sufficient time to warm up. Ebner guarding the line as well as Kirkpatrick. So McBride on a 3-2 count waiting. The pitch. He took it just inside, and Royce thought he had strike 3. He a little upset at that one. That's ball 4. That's the 4th walk, and the bases are loaded. And that'll bring up a tough man in Kenny Reitz, who's 0 for 3. Flied to center, struck out, and fouled out to first base. So the bases are loaded now to Reitz, a right-hand batter. This is the guy you wanted to get. The man's at first base, McBride, but he hung in on an 0-2 count and ran it up to where he got ball 4. Now we'll see. The outfield around to the left. Bases loaded, 2 down. Cardinals and the Pirates 1-1. Pitch to Reitz. High, ball 1. Sanguin looks into the dugout a moment. Royce comes off the mound. They chat a little bit in between the pitcher's mound and home plate. Cardinals are used to playing some extra inning baseball. They've been about the hottest club in all of the National League of late. Won a game in 25 innings, won one in 17 innings, all in the space of 3 days. 1 ball and no strikes, and here comes the pitch to Reitz. Fly ball, center field, Al Oliver drifting back, getting under a can of corn. He's out of the inning. Great pitching by Jerry Royce. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. They leave 3. Now let's win it in the 9th inning with a home run by Stargell.
Hey, how many times have you heard me talk about the new cowhide baseball? And how strange it seems not to call it the horsehide. Well, my friends, it's still the old pelota, just a different package. Sort of like the new half a case of Iron City beer. Yes, Iron City beer now comes in a brand new package, half a case. But it's still the same rich, hearty Iron City beer that you've been enjoying all along. It's just that now you can buy 12 cans of ice-cold, thirst-beating Iron City beer in one convenient, easy-to-carry package. And you know what makes it even more convenient? Well, you can buy it right at your friendly neighborhood tavern. You can't beat that now, can you? So the next time you're enjoying a frosty draft or 2 of Iron City beer in your favorite tavern, remember to take some of that great beer pleasure home with you. Just ask the man for a half a case of Iron. And when you're really ready to pour it on, my friend, well, you know what to do. Hey, you just pour on that Iron.
Now let's win the doggone thing right here. Here he is, Stargell. Listen to the crowd roar. Let's bring some kicking on the hill. Turn me up, George. Let it rip. Kiss it goodbye right here. Stargell, an infield shift against him. Hit it out of here, Willie. Ball 1. Can't hit that one. 1-0. Here's Gibson back. Ground ball out the right side. Over goes Sizemore. He's up, throws long, 1 out. Well, now then we got another shot coming up here. Richie Zisk. He bounced into a force play, walked and fouled out to first. And the Buck fans are roaring. 1 out and none on in the 9th inning, game tied 1-1. Bob Gibson Works now to Richie Sisk. Here's the pitch. Hard smash foul down third. That one went by Reed so fast he couldn't even... No balls and a strike. Here's the 0-1. Outside for a ball. Ball 2 to Sisk. 2-1. Gibson absolutely just working rapidly. His infielders and outfielders don't dare put their head down. And the batter doesn't dare take his eye off what's going on. Here's the 2-1 from Hoot. And Richie started to swing. They said, no, it's ball 3. 3-1. The umpires are under great pressure, too, in a game such as this in the closing moments of the season. Ball 3 and strike 1 to Sisk. Gibson into the windup and the 3-1 pitch. Foul off the slider, and the count now full, 3-2. Ball 3 and strike 2. 1 out and none on. Here's the pitch. Gibson gets him to break his bat, pops him into shallow center. Sizemore drops back in here. 2 down to Sanguin. Manny fly to center, single to right, and bounced out to second base. Score tied in the bottom of the ninth. 2 down, 1-1. Nobody aboard for the Buccos. Both sides in with 5 hits. Pirates in with 1 error. The 2 errors. The Cardinals in with 1. The errors have not figured in the scoring of the game. Here's now the pitch. Sangi watches outside, ball 1. Right now, boy, that buck call in the 7th inning should have been so disputed and wasn't. Gave the Cardinals a chance to get the run, and they took advantage of it. Ball low with 2 down. If you're just tuning in, Simmons singled. Torrey was in there, and as Rush was set to delivery, Torrey stepped out. The plate umpire put his hand up. Rush stepped off the mound, and the first base umpire called the box, sending Simmons to second. Sangi, a fly ball, center field toward Bake McBride. Backs up near the warning track. He's got it, and we're going to go to extra innings. So it's 3 up and 3 down at the end of 9, tied up 1-1.
Hey, fans, here's an interesting question. How do you discover a great tavern? Well, first, you just try using your ears. When you hear lots of laughter, some good baseball talk, and the clink of big mugs, you just might be in the right place. Now take a look around. You should see some real neighborly people enjoying themselves. And then check over by the bar. You see a red and white tap handle? That's an Iron City Draft beer tap. And if you see it, well, you know for certain you're in the right place. Because you'll always find Iron City beer where sports-minded guys gather. And there's a real good reason for that. Iron City beer packs all the excitement and refreshment you could ever want in a beer. It's got a rich, robust, real beer flavor that stands out. And, brother, it's got the taste that's going to satisfy the biggest thirst you can work up. Looking for a great tavern? Look for Iron City on draft. And when you're heading home, get that 10th inning kit. A couple of cold 6-packs of Iron City beer. Hey, man, when you get ready to pour it on, pour on the iron.
Your baseball host is an Iron City beer. Well, we're going overtime, and for the Pirates, this is their 18th overtime ball game. We have won 9 and lost 8 previously. 2 of those losses to the Cardinals in the opening game of the season, and the last time they were in here, they beat us in 12 innings. Cardinals have been a strong ball club in overtime. This is their 15th ball game. They're 11-3, and we don't have to tell you the last couple of ball games they've had been rather lengthy ones, 25 innings. Heaven forbid that doesn't happen again. And 17 innings. Well, maybe the Hidden Vigor is going our way. Jack Heidemann leads off the 10th inning against Royce. He pinch hit in the 8th inning and bounced out to the shortstop, Frank Tavares. 21,458 on hand, and nobody's leaving. High pop-up to the shortstop for in shallow left center. Oliver drifting out here will make the play. He's got it. 1 out. First ball hitting, Heidemann flies out to shallow center field. Ron Hunt, you may remember him, formerly with the Montreal Expos, now with the Cardinals. Pinch hitting. Hunt on the season, batting at .262, has driven in 26 runs, has drawn 57 walks, and they don't even have how many times he's been hit by pitches, which shows you what that figure means to the Cardinals, but up in Montreal, that was an outstanding figure on the scorecard every time you looked at the statistics on this guy, Ronnie Hunt. But he's up there to get on base. Fastball is in there, strike one. He's right on top of the plate. His elbows are right over the strike zone. You can hit him in the arm with a strike. Cardinals are loosening Raboski. He'll be coming on. Fastball in there, strike two. Well, Hunt is back to guarding the plate now. In fact, he's like that from the time he gets up there. Chokes up on the bat, right up almost to the trademark. Matter of fact, I think he saws off the bottom part of the bat. The 0-2 pitch, line drive up the middle. It's a base hit. He's doing his thing. He's on with a pinch hit single. And the Bucks again looking at pinch hitters coming off the bench and getting the job done. They're going to have a pinch runner for him. It's going to be Larry Herndon, H-E-R-N-D-O-N, Herndon, the youngster we haven't seen so far, and they've got a mess of them left with them. Larry Herndon. He was with Arkansas this year. Hit 288. Couldn't tell you what he did in the stolen base department, but he must be able to run, and they wouldn't be throwing him in there. Well, Hunt gets a pinch hit signal. And that brings up Lou Brock, who is 0 for 4. Royce has struck him out 3 times in the first, 6th, and the 8th inning. Tie game 1-1. We're in the top of the 10th inning. One down. Throw to first. Back in time is Herndon. Larry Herndon running for Ronnie Hunt in the Cardinals' 10th. Well, look at first. Fan the pitch. Fastball right there, strike one. Royce, I don't believe, can pitch much better than he has tonight. He has 10 strikeouts, and that's a career high for him in the major leagues. Once before he had 10 with the Cardinals in 1971 against the Philadelphia Phillies. He checked Herndon at first base, and the pitch to Brock. Jamming pitch back to Sennett. He makes the play where it tags the runner, throws not in time at first. Well, the force play at second base on the runner, Larry Herndon, is unassisted by Sennett. Brock is on at first on the force play. And, of course, that sets up the excitement again of a possible steal at second base. Brock got on in the 3rd inning when he forced a runner at second base. He then tried to steal, and he was nailed by Sankian for the 3rd out of the inning. Sankian, the last time in here with Demery pitching, nailed him 2 times in a row, and he's gotten him the last 3 times he's faced him. Will it be 4? We'll check it here. He's a threat to go. You can bet on that. Throw to first. He's back in time. Tie game 1-1. And these 2 ball clubs are battling for the Eastern Division title. Pirates have won 3 of them. The Mets have won the other 2. The only 2 teams that have captured them so far since divisional play in '69. So look at first. And the long pause, and they throw to first. He's back in time. Cardinals have a run on 6 hits. They committed 1 error. The Pirates 1 run on 5 hits. We committed 2 errors. This thing all boils down to a controversial balk call when the Cardinals scored in the 7th. Brock again going back to first on the throw by Jerry. Detroit knocks off the Red Sox. Joe Coleman beating Bill Lee 5-3. Well, look at first. The long pause, and Brock has a big lead. He's going. Time called, and no pitch. Sizemore had stepped out, and Brock started to go as Royce came to the plate. He had a big jump that time. Very seldom does Brock get the lead with both feet on the tartan surface. He usually has 1 foot in the sliding pit, the other on the tartan surface, but this time he had both of them on the tartan surface. He has it again, a bigger lead. So look at first. And he goes over again, drives him back in. Brock again with the lead, not quite as much this time. Takes another step. Royce with a long pause. He's going. The pitch is swung. Oh, no. It's throw onto second base. It gets away from Brock. Hit him on the leg. Moves into left field, and Brock will come over to third. The pitch was in kind of low, and Sankian had to come up throwing. And the throw hit low and bounced off the leg of Brock, caromed into left field. He comes over to third. That's a stolen base for Lou Brock, so he gets his job done. Steals the base. And with that, it's number 743, tying him with Eddie Collins on the all-time list. There's only one guy ahead of him, and that is Ty Cobb. He had a big jump that time and a big lead off Royce. Ty Guillen didn't have much of a shot at all. The throw as well was at the knees, however, for strike. And the Cardinals have the go-ahead run at third base with 2 down. Fly ball on left field. That'll do it. Scargill drifting back. That'll be the third out of the inning. And every time the Cardinals. No runs on 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. And Royce again works out of it in the 10th as he did in the 9th inning. We're going to the bottom of the 10th. We're tied 1-1.
Hello, me, Mary Jean, our superstar. Tell them about our Chrysler Plymouth car.
Okay, fellas. Based on combined figures from March through June, you know who's number 1 in small car sales? We are.
Please tell us some more.
I mean, America's best-selling small cars come from Plymouth. We outsold Pinto, Vega, VW, Mustang, Coupe, and Datsun.
We want to hear it all.
Well, small wonder we're number 1. Duster, Valiant, and Stamp are the common sense cars. Small outside, big inside, economical all over. And they're all clean up price at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Because it costs us more to keep them than to sell them. Oh, you know what I mean.
Thank you, Mary Jean, for coming through. That's why we love you.
Come on in for a great deal on America's number 1 selling small car at your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
The log on Bob Gibson. He goes 9 innings. He gave up 1 run, a home run to Al Oliver in the first inning. He shut the door since then, allowing only 5 hits and no hits at all since Guillen singled in the 4th inning. That's how strong his pitching was. He gets no decision here tonight, but a very fine performance by Gibson. Had only 1 strikeout, and he got that when he needed it against Kirkpatrick with runners at 1st and 3rd in the 4th inning. Walks, he allowed only 1, issuing a walk to Zisk in the 4th inning. Raboski, who has been called the Mad Hungarian, has been an unbelievable relief pitcher. He's allowed just 1 earned run in his last 25 appearances. That's in 37 in the 3rd inning. Going back to July the 14th is a rather memorable date for the Pirates this season. Since that time, Raboski has won 4, saved 6, and has an earned run average now that has gone from 5.14 to 2.63. In his last 11 innings, he's only given up 3 hits and no runs, and he has struck out 15 batters in the last 11 innings in relief. It tells you he is a power pitcher, and very definitely so. His record 6-1 with 9 saves. 60 strikeouts in 72 innings. He had his problems earlier in the year, as did Dave Justy, but they have turned things around. Kenny Maka is going to pinch hit for the Bucks. Maka pinch hitting, fastball away, ball 1. Left-hander Raboski against Kenny Maka. He got a base hit, as Bob reminds us, in Montreal, and it didn't go any farther than about 8 feet out in front of the plate. He's batting 1,000. Swings on a fastball. He didn't get it. 1 ball and 1 strike. This fellow led the Eastern League in hitting last season up at Thetford Mines. He's from Gateway High School, a graduate of Gateway and also the University of Pittsburgh. He's a catcher, making his first appearance here in Pittsburgh. The 1-1 pitch, foul, back out of play, and Raboski isn't going to finish you. He just leans on nothing but good, hard fastball. The count of 1-2. Tavares is on deck, but possibly will be pinch hit for. The catcher, Teddy Simmons, moving off the outside part of the plate. The fastball is out there, but it's too high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Maka was a late addition to the Pirates roster. He hit .345 at Thetford Mines. 21 of them, 21 home runs, and he drove in 100 runs. That's pretty good speed, too. He's pinch hitting for Ed Kirkpatrick. The pitch by Raboski popped him up in the infield. Drifting back to second base, Sizemore. In shallow center field, he's got it 1 down. Tavares is on deck and apparently will bat here. The Pirates loosen Dave Justy and Ramon Hernandez.
Tavares almost got a big base hit in the fourth inning with 2 down. The second baseman, Teddy Sizemore, went deep into right field to get the ball over his head with runners at first and third that time and 2 down. That was a big inning for Bob Gibson. Pirates haven't had a hit since then. Fastball in there, taken by Tavares, strike 1. The 0-1 delivery. He is in there, strike 2. He wastes no time, and he's thrown nothing but fastball since he's come on here. He was born in Oakland, California, 5'11", 180 pounder, stockily built. Fastball moved away in the count of 1-2. Last year with Tulsa and St. Louis, Robotsky with the Cardinals was 2-4. With a good, young, live arm, and he's shown it. Fastball fouled out of play down the right field line. The crowd witnessing a very thrilling ball game, 21,458. And nobody's getting up and walking away from this one. Gibson and Royce duel, a very strong game over the front 9. Now Robotsky here in the 10th inning. Robotsky gets the sign. Simmons moving out again. The 1-2 pitch fouled again by Tavares. It's out of play. Cardinals have had 6 hits. The Pirates have 5. But we're tied 1-1. And the controversial call in that 7th inning sticks out more and more as this game goes along. The 1-2 pitch fouled again by Tavares. Out of play down the first base side. Dave Justy throwing down there. Hernandez just watching the action right now. Long time since Justy's been in a ball game. About a week ago. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Looper hit up to third base, and the third baseman Kenny Reese will make an easy play. And let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Pirate Baseball Network.
All the good sports are on Pirate.
The Boston Red Sox are beaten tonight. The Baltimore Orioles score a run in the 7th inning at Shea Stadium. The Yankees just out in the bottom of the 7th. Baltimore leads it 1-0. Here's a pitch to Jerry Royce, staying in the ball game. He swings and misses, strike 1. The windup by the left-hander Robotsky. It's bunted foul, back out of play. Royce running down to first base, thought he had it on the ground someplace, but came directly back into the crowd behind home plate. The count of 0-2. Jerry pitched out of tough situations in the 9th inning, and again in the 10th. He left the bases loaded in the 9th inning. Got off to a bad start with a walk and a single to Sizemore and Smith. Struck out Simmons, got Torrey to fly to right, walked McBride, and got Reeks to fly to center field. We're tied 1-1 with 2 down in the 10th inning. Pitch to Royce. He swings and misses, strike 3. Well, the Bucks having trouble finding base hits here. Have not had one since the 4th inning, as Gibson and Robotsky have dominated things, and we'll go to the 11th inning. We're tied 1-1.
Hey, if your car's been acting like a 3,000-pound weakling lately, maybe it's time that you brought it into a Delco dealer for a tune-up. If it needs one, your Delco serviceman can do the job. He'll let you know what it'll cost to have your engine running fine again. He'll check compression, adjust ignition timing and carburation. Another thing, if new parts are needed, you'll get the best from a Delco man. Delco Remy ignition and electrical components, Delco carburetor parts, and Delco wires and cables. So if you're planning a vacation, plan on letting a Delco serviceman check your car. Let him check it over before you go. The more you know, the more you'll want Delco. Delco tune-up service available at Lockhart Tire Incorporated, 507 Lockhart Street on the north side, and Calibro Tire Service, 1476 Barrow Hill Road in the South Hills. Now into the 11th inning, and Bobby Robertson is on to do the first base chores. Playing at first base now in place of Eddie Kirkpatrick, who was batted for by Maka. And here in the Cardinal 11th inning, Royce pitches to Smith, Simmons, and Torrey. Pirates took a lead of 1-0 back in the second inning when Oliver hit a home run. And then with 2 down, Simmons singled in the 7th. And there came the big play. With Torrey ready to bat and Royce ready to pitch, Torrey stepped out, and the plate umpire, we saw it on the replay, put his hand up, and as he stepped out, Royce stepped off the mound. The first base umpire called a balk. That allowed Simmons to go to second, and then Torrey hit a double down the left field line to tie it up. Simmons could not have scored from first base on that hit. But he was able to score from second. And for the life of me, I just can't understand that rule, the way they exercise it. Smith now 2-0. Beats a foul off third, 2 balls and a strike. Same thing happened against the Cardinals when Sizemore stepped out and Brock was stealing in the 10th inning, and they called time. No pitch made, and they brought Brock back. Bouncer to third, Hebner's up behind third, throws low, held by Robertson. Great play by Bobby Robertson on a low throw into the dirt. One out. That'll bring up Simmons. He walked, struck out, single scored, and struck out. Batting right-handed here against left-hand pitching Jerry Royce. We're in the 11th inning. The Cardinals on this streak have played 1 25er, 1 17 inning. Now they're in the 11th of this one. Pitch to Simmons, a curve high, ball 1. 21,458. Hang in there, Mary Edgley, wherever you are. High pop into shallow center. Oliver coming up. 2 out. Couldn't help thinking of Mary Edgley last night when Buffalo came from behind to win the game against Oakland. Watching that game on TV, it was a whale of a football game. But that stadium, Rich Stadium, is right in her backyard, and I imagine she was wall to wall with automobiles and people. Dodgers go tonight with Rao, Griffin for Houston. 2 down to Torrey. Double and 4 at-bats driving in the run. That tied up the game back in the 7th inning. Bouncing toward third. Hebner over, backhands the ball, really, and throws him out. Great play by Hebner. And the crowd going wild. 3 up and 3 down. And we go down to the bottom of the 11th inning, and it's tied up 1-1.
All rise. The prosecution may continue the cross-examination of the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Will the witness now state his title for the court?
Yes. I am a teller at Union National Bank.
Ah, teller. Wonderful, wonderful. Would you kindly tell the court, does Union National Bank offer premiums to its customers, pots and pans and the like?
Oh, no. We have a policy against that sort of thing, sir.
You mean no silverware?
No, sir.
No cookbook?
No, sir.
No meat thermometers?
No, sir.
Nothing?
Nothing.
How is it, then, that Union National Bank seems to be so successful?
I like to think it's because we're still a bank.
Still a bank?
After 117 years, sir, we're still a bank.
Not even a little bonbon dish?
Not even a little bonbon.
Union National, still a bank.
And a member of FDIC.
Well, in the 11th inning, Stennett, Hebner, and Oliver will go at it against Alan Urbanski. Bob Gibson pitched a magnificent 9-inning ball game. And I want to say one thing. The home run Al Oliver hit off Gibson, Oliver takes the pitch, it would have been almost under the plate. It was a ball. And it's just the type of pitch you normally wouldn't expect a home run to be struck off in any stretch of the imagination. And Oliver gave it a 9-iron shot and got it up in there for the homer. And his 9th of the year. Both sides have scored on plays that normally you wouldn't expect to see. As another example, you wouldn't expect to see that home run off that pitch that Gibby threw in there because it was way down underneath his knees. And with 2 out, Simmons singled, and then came that controversial play when Torrey backed out on Royce, which I give Torrey credit for doing. I think he's that smart. Just as Royce was set to deliver, he backed out on him. And Royce broke his delivery, and they called a balk, even though the plate umpire started to put his hand up to call time. That's a bad rule. It's legislated against too many ball clubs. Bennett a swing, strike one. Roboski's fastball whipping through there. And if you're just tuning in, I'll tell you, Brock had a chance to steal in the 10th inning, and Royce delivered, and they called time as he delivered, and Sizemore stepped out, took the stolen base right away from Brock. Foul down the right line. Had it stolen like it was nothing. But Sizemore stepped out, and they called time while Royce was in the act of delivering. So what's the sense of having that rule? That the batter must stay in there if he wants to get out. When the man delivers, it's whatever the pitch is, whether you like it or not. I'm going to have a long talk with these umpires and find out why that rule is on the books and why they enforce it the way they do. Here's the 0-2 now to Stennett. Roboski delivers, curve high. Slopped his curve outside that time. 3, 6, 9. 10 in a row have been retired. We haven't had a base hit since Stanguin singled out Bobby back in the 4th inning. We have had a base runner on an error, and that's all. Otherwise, it would have been just up and down like a metronome. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Roboski, 6-1 on the year. 1-2 to Stennett. High, ball 2. You take away that error, and they would have retired, let's see, 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, 21 in a row since the single by Stanguin back in the 4th inning. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. Foul back by Stennett. Rennie tonight is 0 for 4. Popped to short, fly to right, bounced out to third, grounded out to second. Gibson went 9 for 1 run and 5 hits. Magnificent Bob Gibson. Royce has matched him. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Fouled away by Stennett. Roboski pumping BBs. Stennett's had 1 ball out of the infield, a fly ball to right, back in the 3rd. Roboski on the sign is ready. Nods his head. And here comes the 2-2. Stennett fouls another one out of play. Hebner and Oliver to follow here. We're in the bottom half of the 11th inning, tied up 1-1. Extra inning ball games for the Cardinals are not strange things to them, particularly on this last big splurge of theirs. They are 11-3, by the way, in extra inning ball games. They're 29-22 in 1-run ball games. That's one of the reasons why they're so great. 2-2 pitch, fouled away again. Oh, those statistics are most impressive. (11-3) in extra innings, 29-22 in 1-run ball games, 13-8 in shutouts, 6-1-3 in doubleheaders. Cardinals are for real. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Stennett. Another foul back, and he's making Roboski pump now. He's really battling them up there. Roboski every now and then will turn around and psych himself up. They call him the Mad Hungarian. Takes a couple of deep breaths, strides the mound. Ball 2, strike 2 to Stennett, leading off in the 11th. The pitch. Curveball popped him up on a changeup into shallow center. Going back, Sizemore, Heidemann coming on McBride. The ball is caught by Sizemore in between McBride and Heidemann. Threw him a changeup, and he popped him into shallow center. 1 out to Hebner. 1 hit in 4 at-bats. He got a bloop into right field off Gibby back in the 3rd. Hit it, I thought, off the end of the bat. Just blooped it into right. Now Roboski, halfway between the mound and second base, screwing out into center field. This is where he psychs himself up, taking a deep breath. Has turned and said something to Joe Torre. He's every inch into this ball game, and Hebner waiting. They're going to play now straightaway, not infield shift him. Curve is outside, ball 1. Heidemann, the shortstop, is to the third base side of second and barely so. Sizemore is back a little bit in shallow right. And Torrey guards the line deep at first. The right fielder, Reggie Smith, deep near the warning track. The gap to left center in the outfield. On the line at third is Reitz. The big hole off the left side of the diamond to Hebner. Here's the 1-0. Curveball, slap foul off the left side. Out of play, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count. The score tied 1-1. Hebner's got a gap off the left side of the diamond. It's unbelievable. He could hit a dribbler up there and get it through because Heideman's way over by second and reaches down the line, going steady with that foul line at third. 1 out and none on in the 11th inning. Score tied 1-1. Hebner the batter. Raboski, 6-1 on the year, the left-hander. Now the 1-1 pitch, and Hebner a swing and a miss, strike 2. Al Oliver, the on-deck batter. Ball 1 and strike 2. And the pitch. Hebner fouls. Blair has just homered for Baltimore in the 8th inning of 2 on. His 17th of the year. They now lead the Yankees 4-0 into the bottom of the 8th at New York. In a game that Baltimore has got to win. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hebner. Yankees on top in the American League East. Curveball hit down toward first. Changeup. Torrey has it unassisted. 2 away. Raboski's last 2 outs have been on changeup. Now here's Al Oliver, whose golf shot home run off Gibson got the only run in back in the first inning. And I mean a golf shot. Now Raboski out psyching himself up again. Stands halfway between the mound and second base. Turns and says something to Joe Torrey. It must be a ritual he goes through. Because he points right at his first baseman. The pitch to Oliver started to swing, took a curve away, ball 1. He goes out, stands between first and second, takes a few deep breaths, peers out into the center field section, turns around, comes to the mound, and points right to his first baseman. He's been doing that since he's come on in the 10th. Curve low, ball 2, 2-0 to Oliver, and Raboski does not like the call. Then a couple of calls, one against Gibson and one against Royce, that both pitchers thought they had over the plate for strikes. Now Raboski's out between first base or second base of the pitcher's mound. Let's see if he comes back and points to Torrey. This time he does not. Ball 2 and no strikes. He must talk to himself and psych himself up. 2 down, none on in the 11th of pitch. Oliver inside to him, ball 3. A fastball tailed up and in. On deck, Willie Stargell. Raboski again in between the pitcher's mound and second. Cogitating. Puts the ball in the mitt, comes out on the mound, and gets his sign from Simmons. Here comes the 3-0. And he throws a strike right down the pipe. Oliver taking all the way. 3-1. Out goes Raboski again between the mound and second base. And the fans are on him about it. Listen, he's doing his thing. And he's some pitcher. Must be good what he's doing. He's 6-1. 3 balls and a strike to Oliver. Strike swinging, and he blew the fastball by him. Full count, 3-2. And there goes Raboski out between the mound and second base again. Listen to the fans. What we ought to do now is start stepping out on him just as he's set to deliver. Like Henry Aaron did one time about 15 times in a row to Bob Veal. Step out on him. Let him re-psych himself. Here comes the payoff pitch to 3-2. Oliver fouls back and twirls around and almost goes to the ground. 3-2. There goes Raboski out between the mound and second base again. Come on, Al. When he gets ready to pitch, step out on him. Just do it about 5 times in a row on him. Just get in there and step out on him. Drive him up a wall a while. Ball 3 and strike 2. Raboski a head shake, no. Now a head shake, yes. Here comes the 3-2. Foul back. Let's see if he goes out between home plate and rather pitcher's mound and second again. There he goes. and strike two. Rabowski ready. And the 3-2 pitch. He walked him. They call out Oliver for swinging on it, and he doesn't believe it. The pitch was way up inside, but they said he swung on it, and you can't argue. And that will retire the side. That'll be just the third strikeout tonight. And it's 3 up and 3 down. At the end of 11 innings of play, it's tied up 1-1.
Hello, I'm James Garner. Look at that highway. Hundreds of cars with only one person in them. And we're in the middle of an energy crisis. All the plans the cities and states come up with can't solve it alone. A good way to beat the gas shortage is to share a car with friends. At least if you get stuck, well, you've got someone to play cards with. And when you're driving, please drive under 55. You know, we squander from 30 to 40% of our fuel energy. And we just can't afford it anymore. If we all help, we'll really be helping ourselves. And if we don't, there may not be enough gas for any of us.
This message from the Federal Energy Office and the Advertising Council.
Now, the usual length of a ball game is 9 innings. The Cardinals on this trip at 65 innings in 5 games coming into this one, and they're overtime again into the 12th. And the fans here being treated to a great pitching display tonight. Royce, Gibson, and now Rabowski. In the 12th inning, Jerry goes against McBride, Reitz, and Heidemann. McBride has a single and a walk in 4 appearances. He was 1 for 3 on the night. Pitch up high, ball 1. Cardinals have been pecking away a bit at Royce in late innings here, but he's done the job, and particularly in the 9th and 10th inning. Fastball down low, 2 balls and no strikes. Count of 2-0. The pitch by Royce. High pop-up off the left side. Tavares wants it in foul territory down the left field line. He makes the grab, 1 down. Well, one of a ball game, and the way it should be when 2 ball clubs batting for the National League Eastern Division Championship meet head-to-head, the Pirates and the Cardinals. We're tied 1-1 into the 12th inning. Kenny Reitz had a chance to win it in the 9th inning. With the bases loaded, Royce got him to fly to center field. Change curve, and it's on the corner, taking strike 1. He might have slowed up that time with a fastball and just drifted away. But it was an off-speed pitch. It got him lucky. A windup in the pitch by Royce. Another changeup, and it's hit foul down the right field line. It's out of play. Strike 2. Reitz 0 for 4. Baltimore leading New York. Jim Palmer on a shutout, leading 4-0. They're into the bottom of the 9th inning. The Orioles 2.5 back at the start of today's activity. The 0-2 pitch to Reitz. Inside, sends him spinning. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch wasn't that close, but Reitz started to make a swing at the ball and had to give way and just went down. Wasn't that far inside on. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The windup by Jerry and the pitch underway. Foul, back out of play. And I think Jack Buck or Mike Shannon might have a souvenir up above it. Lou Brock stole a base here in the 10th inning, and that was number 742 of his major league career, 108 on the year. He had been thrown out earlier by Manny Sanguian. The 1-2 pitch. Line drive, right field, and coming on. This still coming. He's going to get it. 2 down. Boy, pitching has been so dominant right from the start of this ball game. A home run by Al Oliver in the 1st inning after 2 were out. That's the only run we got. And the Cardinals run in the 7th inning, a kind of controversial one. 2 were out. Simmons singled. He moved to second base. As the home plate umpire called time as Torrey stepped out, the first base umpire called a balk on Royce as he parted his hands before stepping off the rubber. He moved into second, and then Torrey doubled down the left field line. That's been the scoring. Heidemann takes the pitch at the knee, strike 1. He came into the ball game as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning for Mike Tyson. He's gone 0 for 2, bouncing to short in this 8th inning, flying to center in the 10th. Tie score 1-1, 12th inning. 2 down. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Good fastball by Jerry. He got his 10th strikeout in the 9th inning. That's the most he's had in a 9-inning ball game in his major league career. Second time he's done it. Occurred back in 1971 against the Philadelphia Phillies. But the most in a Pirate uniform for Jerry. The 0-2 pitch to Heidemann. Down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch underway. Line drive right up the middle past Royce. It's on into center field for a base hit. Now Heidemann on a 1-2 pitch shoots one up the middle. And Alan Raboski is going to stay in the ballgame. They're going to go with him. It shows you what they think of his ability as a pitcher, not so much as a hitter, I'm sure. We'll check him as a hitter. Raboski not a bad hitter either. He's had 3 hits and 8 times at bat, batting at .375. He's driven in 2 runs. So this guy is a good hitter, too. He's been at bat 8 times, and he's struck out only twice. Alan Raboski, not a bad hitter. He's a right-handed batter. Tie game 1-1. 2-out single by Heidemann. He's at first. The pitch underway, and Raboski swings on a curve and misses strike 1. Tommy Briarcheck, the Buck bat boy, heading down to the bullpen to get a message or take one down there. Been a lot of scurrying in the Pirate bullpen, but nobody has come on so far. Royce going the full distance. Heidemann first. The 0-1 delivery. Curve is just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jerry taking a lot of time here, looking for a sign. Finally gets it. The pitch underway, up high. 2 balls and a strike. Crowd getting a bit restless here. The on-deck batter, Lou Brock. Cardinals team batting average of .266. Pirates at .277. The 2-1 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Now Royce falling behind on his pitching opponent, Alan Raboski. With Heidemann at first base, and he got on after 2 out with a single right up the middle. Cardinals trying to do something like they did in the 7th inning. See if Royce can come back with a strike. He did. Right at the knees, taken by Raboski. Now the count is full, 3-2. That means that Heidemann at first base will be going on the pitch. Bobby Robertson playing there will now move off the bag a bit. Buck's loosening, Dave Justy. Royce stepping off the mound, a la Raboski, and getting the applause of the fans. Here's a 3-2 pitch. The runner's going. The ball is tapped to shortstop. Tavares has to hurry. Throws. He just got him. Wow. Close play. Raboski runs very well, and Tavares just got him at first base on a slowly hit ball to shortstop. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. And Royce, through 12 innings, has given the Cardinals 1 run. And we go into the bottom of the 12, tied at 1-1.
You know, the old gunner here has been doing the Pirate play-by-play for Iron City now for 18 years. Great years. Just filled with exciting moments. Great players and a lot of fine, fine fans. You know, something I've learned over the years is that baseball fans know their beer, and they like it. That's why they've helped make Iron City beer the #1 beer around here year after year. Of course, it's tough to put your finger on any one reason, but maybe it's because Iron City is made with more ingredients, and all those ingredients are the very best a good beer ought to have. So when you start into a tall, frosty glass of Iron City beer, you know it's an Iron City, because you can't miss that rich, full flavor, that lively tang, that beautiful creamy head, that real honest-to-goodness beer taste. You take it from the gunner. If you want to sink your thirst into the best beer around here, you've got to get the #1 beer, Iron City. Yes, my friends, pour on the iron.
The 12th inning for the Pirates. We're at the meat of the order with Stargell, Ziskin, Sanguillen, the 4, 5, and 6 batters to come up in the 12th inning. Alan Raboski has been taking a lot of time between pitches, had a bit of meditation. He goes back behind the mound and talks himself to get himself psyched up. Bob, you had a pretty good idea.
Well, I know I timed him 3 times for 33 seconds, and that's against the rule. With nobody on base, you're supposed to deliver every 20 seconds, Nellie. I'm going to time him again, and Sister Esmelda, who down there is 92 years young, has been rooting for the Buccos and all, and hopefully we can get going. But I want to tell you, Nellie, the rule says you're supposed to pitch with nobody on base 20 seconds. Isn't that correct? He's been going 30, 33 seconds between pitches by going out and psyching himself up. And I have not yet understood why we don't step out on him every time he does it. And when he's ready to pitch, go over and get the rosin bag and fiddle around out there for a few minutes like you saw and I saw Henry Aaron do to Bob Beal one day in Atlanta. Finally, the umpire's going to get mad and say, get in the hit and say, well, when you tell that donkey to pitch, I'll hit. I mean, that's the way I do it. I wouldn't let him psych me out of that thing.
Yeah, a little bit of gamesmanship. He's falling up, and it's a pretty good point to the Pirates. He's got to psych himself up to get up there.
There he is.
Might as well take as much time. He's midway between the mound and second base now. His back is turned to the plate, and he's looking out toward center field. He's getting his thoughts together, rubbing up a ball. Stargell leads it off. He's had a single in 4 at-bats. That came in the first inning.
What do you think? Show me now. What do you think he means when he points over to Torrey at first base after he does all that? We got to find out what that means.
I haven't noticed it that much, but if he does it every time, I don't know. It might be a superstition. Stargell swings and misses strike 1. I was given a rather lengthy letter by a gentleman who berated me for calling Tony Caddies as being superstitious for making the sign of the cross on his bat. But the 0-1 pitch, it is taken by Willie, strike 2. He tried to check the swing and won around, I believe, but it was still a strike. Well, it may not be a superstition, probably religious belief, but nonetheless, he does it continually. I'm sure he's looking for a base hit. The 0-2 pitch, and it's inside. What was it, a foul tip or what? I believe it was a check swing and a foul ball off the bat of Stargell, and a count of 0-2.
You talking about when Tony Taylor holds the bat down and blesses himself, kisses the bat, and well, he was offering up a prayer. I asked him about that one time, that he'd do his best so that nobody get hurt. He's not asking for the base hit, just that he do his best.
The 0-2 pitch, low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's a curveball, and Rabowski has been just about showing that pitch, although he did give Hebner a very good breaking ball. Got him to bounce out. But his best pitch, without a doubt, is a fastball, and he leans on it. Baltimore shut out New York 4-0. Palmer beating Medich. Good crowd at Shea, 33,000. The 1-2 pitch by Rabowski. He struck him out swinging. Fastball blew it right by him. That's the 4th strikeout, the 3rd by Rabowski. It'll bring up Richie Zerst, who is hitless in 3 at-bats. Last base runner to Pirates had in the 7th inning, an error on second baseman Ted Sizemore. Rabowski up on top of the mound this time, not taking quite as much time. Shakes off the sign from Ted Simmons, wants another one, gets it. The windup and the pitch to Zisk is in the dirt, ball 1. The line score in that Baltimore-New York game, 4 runs, 7 hits and no errors for Baltimore. No runs, 7 hits and no errors for New York. Palmer's 7th win. He's lost 12 times. George Medich lost it. His record 18-14. As I said, a good crowd at Shea Stadium. 33,784. The 1-0 pitch to Richie, swing and a miss, and he chased the fastball up a bit high. Strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. This guy is simply just overpowering the Pirates. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball moved away. Ball 2. Rabowski again turns his back to the plate. Benzis wants to do the thing you were talking about, Bob. He's going to walk back, and if Rabowski wants to take some time, he'll take some.
Absolutely right. Just make him sit out there and sweat like he's making us. I got to give Rabowski credit. He's a doggone fine competitor, and if he can get away with doing what he's doing, and we don't try to track him a little bit with our own thing, why, then we're falling right into his trap. On top of which, he's a darn good pitcher.
He got the credentials to prove that. 6-1 with 9 saves. The 2-1 pitch to this. Foul, that'll play down the right field line.
Quite a contrast, isn't it, between the way Bob Gibson works? He doesn't give you enough time to even get a 30-second commercial in between innings. Old Gibby goes right in there and nails you. I kind of like his kind of pitching, I'll be honest with you.
Well, he gets him over in less than 2 hours. This one well over 2 hours, but we're into the 12th inning. This taps weakly to shortstop. Heideman's got him at first base, and that'll retire it. 2 down. And the batter will be Manny Sanguin. He singled in the 4th inning. That's the last hit we had off Cardinals, and it had only one base runner since then on an error by second baseman Teddy Sizemore in the 7th inning. Or the shortstop, rather. Tyson made the error, not the second baseman. Sanguin usually hits well against left-handers, but this guy is something else the way he's pumping the ball. Fastball away, ball 1. Got another one of these coming tomorrow. Jim Rooker and Lynn McLaughlin going. Game time tomorrow, 7:35. 1-0 pitch, swinging a miss by Sanguin. Strike 1. Manny went right around and fell down on that swing. You throw that hard, I don't think you have to meditate too long. Just get up there and throw. The 1-1 pitch, fastball, foul, back out of play. If you're a finesser, you got to do a lot of meditating. The longer you hold the ball, the longer things ain't going to happen to you. And this guy, he didn't have to do much thinking, I don't think, but he's back again off the rubber, halfway between the mound and second base, rubbing it up, taking a deep breath, and repeating whatever he says to himself. I will throw a stick. Tie game 1-1, 2 down, 12th inning. The pitch, and it is a hard shot to second base. Sizemore, an easy play at first. That'll retire the Pirates. Get down in order in the 12th. Now we're going into the 13th inning, and we're still tied 1-1.
Well, friends, there's just not that much of this old summer left, and if you've been promising yourself a few more cookouts before the leaves turn brown, now's the time to start getting things ready. Get the wife to pick up those hamburgers, and why don't you drive on down to your neighborhood distributor and order a case or two of Iron City beer in 12-ounce returnable bottles. Then the next time the spirit moves you, roll out the charcoal grill and set up a cooler with some ice-cold iron. Now there's a picture of summertime living. Sitting outside with a big charcoal-grilled hamburger cooked to perfection and a cold, cold bottle of Iron City beer. And you know, if you've got an iron by your side, you've got a beer that's perfect for such feasting. It's going to deliver a taste so full and rich your hamburger will probably even taste better. Because Iron City is a beer you can really sink your taste buds into. Listen, there isn't much summer left. Enjoy those cookouts while you can. And order a case or two of Iron City beer so you'll have enough iron on hand. Iron City beer. When you're really ready to pour it on, pour on the iron.
All right, it'll be Brock, Sizemore, and Smith to lead it off in the Cardinals' 13th, and Royce is still pitching. He has allowed 7 base hits. Capsulizing this ball game in the first inning with 2 down, Oliver hit a ball off his shoe tops for a home run. He just gave it a golf swing on a ball that would have been ball way underneath the strike zone, and you don't look for home runs off that one. That's the only legitimate type hit we got all night off Bob Gibson. He just blew us out of there. And since that time, a single by Sanguin. And in the 7th inning, something will live in my mind a long time, and I'm going to have to talk to some umpires about this one because this absolutely baffles me. With Simmons at first, I have to give Torrey credit for stepping out just as Royce was set to pitch. And they called a balk on Jerry. Brock slams it out into left center, out into left for the base hit. Coming up for it is Stodgel, so Brock is on. Well, anyhow, when they called the balk, as the plate umpire started to put his hand up in the air that time was called, they didn't do anything but keep with the balk, and Simmons therefore got the second, and then Torrey hit a hugger down the left field line for the double that tied up the ball game. And there's no way Simmons would have scored from first base, I'll tell you that, on the double by Torrey. And then McBride fouled out. Well, as it turns out, they got the benefit of that call. Here's Sizemore, who's 0 for 4. Brock's got a big lead, and Royce drives him back. Now, Sizemore did the same thing when Royce was ready to pitch. Sizemore stepped out when Brock was running, and a time was called just as Royce pitched. But they said it was no pitch, and it took a stolen base away from Brock. He had it stolen clearly. He has 108 on the year now. Another throw over to first. Well, Milwaukee beats Cleveland 3-2. Juan Pizarro up for Bucks. 1 on and none out. Sizemore the batter. No pitch has been made to him yet. Brock's got a big lead. And he gets back just in time. He's way outside the sliding pit on Royce. But Royce has got a funny kick, and Brock can take a much larger lead. He's been thrown out once tonight. He's also stolen one. Now he's outside the pit. He's a good 15 feet off the bag. Royce goes over there again. Well, some guys have their way of doing it. Royce is throwing over. Demery against Brock just kept holding the ball, wouldn't do anything but hold it. Till Brock finally got tired of hanging out there. Oh, has he got a big lead. And there's another throw to first. He is way outside that sliding pit. When he gets out there on his lead, he's a good 12 to 15 feet from first base. They have yet to throw a pitch to the plate. There's that big lead again. Royce goes back to first. And Brock just casually walks back in. I've never seen Brock take such a lead as this. He's going. They pitch out. It's too high. And Brock has a stolen base. The pitch out was too high in the air for Sanguillen to do anything with it in time to try to throw him out. That's stolen base 109. He's now number 2 on the all-time stolen base list. He now has passed Eddie Collins, all-time stolen bases, 744. Cobb's all-time record of 892. Not in jeopardy this year. Well, Sizemore hasn't seen a pitch yet. Now they're in a position where they can bunt him over or hit the ball off the right side and move him over. There's the bunt. And he may get a base hit unless we hurry. They just do. Royce flips it quickly to Bobby Robertson. On the sacrifice, Brock has come to third. 1-3 on the out. That'll bring up Reggie Smith, who's had 1 hit and 5 at-bats. That was back in the 9th inning. Now we got to bring the infield up to this guy. This whole game, and I don't care how you say it, turns on the 7th inning, allowing a man to step out when the pitcher was in the act. They're going to walk Smith, was in the act of delivering. And when he stepped out, our pitcher did the one thing he shouldn't have done, and that's Royce stepped off the mound. But that is so unfair. The rule clearly favors the batter the way they interpret it, Nellie. Just clearly favors the batter. There's no defense whatsoever for the pitcher except hold the ball and pitch it.
Well, I don't think
that's fair.
I think Bob Gibson was talking about that. He said every time batters run into problems, they make some legislation against pitchers. They lower the mound or they shorten the strike zone. And I tell you, pitchers, you can't put your hand to your mouth. You have to get off the rubber. You've got so many things to think of out there. And really, a batter can do anything he wants to up the plate.
Right.
He doesn't have to do any thinking at all. I really agree with you on that. I think every time the game legislates something, it's always something to stop a pitcher from doing the thing that he does well.
It sure is. Man, that just doesn't seem right. That pitcher's got enough trouble.
It's not an easy game, I'll tell you. You get out there and try to throw from 60 feet 6 inches and just try to throw strikes. It's bad enough. But then when you try to play with corners and you got to pitch under pressure and not get pitches where they can handle them, it's quite an art. It really is.
Well, Royce, who had to bear down back in that 9th inning, had runners at first and second and none out, and he did a job. He got him out of there without a run scoring. Now he's got runners at first and third and 1 out in the 13th inning. And Simmons, the batter, with that 1 hit in 4 at-bats, scored the only run. Fly ball deep left field. Stodgel will get it all right, but they'll tie up. They'll go ahead now, 2-1. Simmons drives in the run to give the Cardinals the lead, 2-1. So a single, a stolen base by Brock. And it's 2-1 Cardinals.
Well, the old adage, what you got to do to beat the Cardinals is keep Brock off the bases, and he's been on once, and really with a base hit, I guess, the only one he had, right?
Well, he was on 2 other times,
Nice,
but 4 times, yeah. And we threw him out once stealing. He's 2 for 3 in attempted steals. And here's Torrey. Now let's see if he steps out again here and draws another balk. inside. I'm telling you, I got to give, without any question, I'm going to give Torrey credit for stepping out back in the 7th inning to create that box, just like I give one of the smartest teams I ever saw in doing things like that was Notre Dame. They'll draw you offside on a long count or a short count. They're so disciplined in that. Here's the 1-0, and I got to believe Torrey did it back in the 7th inning. You know that umpires aren't going to call time when you step out. More often than not, once the man is ready to pitch. Now, that's the secret to the whole thing. The timing of it. And as Nellie described, Harvey put his right hand up. We sat here and watched it on the replay. There's no baloney about that. Started to say time was called, but Dale called the balk, and we didn't get it overruled. Here's a 2-0. Down there, 2-1. Ray Shore from Cincinnati just livid over watching Hrabosky walk off the mound. He said, I'll guarantee if we were to play those guys, he said, if we're able to play them, you watch Rose and Morgan and Benjamin Hrabosky's pitching. They said, we'll drive him up a wall. Swinging him as he just really red hot. And I said, well, now, Ray, first you got to get in there. He said, I know that. But if we do, I'll guarantee in Hrabosky's pitching, he'll walk off to psych himself up, and he'll wonder when the next batter's coming up. Because we'll be over at that rosin bag all night on him, or all afternoon. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, I got to give Hrabosky credit. The pitch, the 2-2. Torrey strikes out swinging. They get their run. We go to the bottom of the 13th, and it's 2-1 the Cardinals.
Hi, this is your old superstar, Mean Mary Jean, and I'd like you to give a listen to some news from your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. That could mean money in your pocket.
Thank you, Mary Jean. You're right. Because money is what this message is all about. Right now, it's year-end clearance time at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. That means he's tagging every 74 car in stock with a year-end price. Year-end prices on his 8 great small car buys, including Valiants, Dusters, and Scamps, America's best-selling line of compact cars. Year-end prices on his midsize satellites and full-size Furies and Chryslers. Prices to move them and move them out fast. Because your Chrysler Plymouth dealer knows it costs him more to keep them than to sell them. So if you have to get the most out of every dollar you spend, and who doesn't nowadays, the place to buy that new car is at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
You can really clean up on a great year-end deal at your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer. All right, it's Bobby Robertson standing in now for his first at-bat. And Maka batted for Kirkpatrick back in the 10th inning. And now Bobby Robertson stands in for his first at-bat. Rick Folkers is up, and Mike Garman. 2-1, Cardinals leading in the bottom of the 13th. In extra inning games, they've been some kind of tough. They won 11, they've lost 3. And so far, in this last win skein of theirs, they went 25 innings, 17 innings. Now they're going 13. And if they close it out here, 55 innings and 3 games and 3 victories. That's if they win this one. Bobby Robertson batting at .238. Standing in. They're going to play him out in the outer pastures around the left. Hrabosky sends it high, ball 1. Boy, the Cardinal bullpen of this young man, Hrabosky, and Folkers and Garman have been some kind of rugged. And that's been one of the keys to their recent success. Ball 1 in the strike pitch. Bobby, a hammering swing, and the count is 1-1. Ball 1, strike 1. Lines are guarded by Torrey and Reitz. They give the holes. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 1-2 to count. Hrabosky came on in the 10th inning. We haven't had a base hit since Sanguillen single back in the 4th, so this shows you what we've been looking at. Nothing but goose eggs. But for an error, we wouldn't have had a man on. And that occurred back in the 7th inning. Take that error away, and it'd have been 3. Oh, my God. Just everybody up and down in order. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Be their 9th inning in a row.
Mm-hmm. Here's Roboski's 2-2 to Robertson. Strikes him out swinging. That is strikeout number 5.
He had just blown the ball, Bob.
Yep.
He was just about a yard short on everything.
Here's Frank Tavares being lifted now, and we're going to have Gene Kleins come up and bat. Now, if the Bucks don't win this one tonight, what they got to do is bail them out tomorrow and the following night to do. They got to have to win somehow or other 2 out of 3. They're not out of it, even if they lost all 3, but the problems would be far more insurmountable. They got to win 2 out of 3 somehow or other if they're to lose this one here tonight. Art Howe, the on-deck batter, he'll be batting for Royce. Kleins in here. 2-1 Cardinals, 1 out, none on, 13th inning. High and away by Roboski, ball 1. Roboski came on to do the pitching in the 10th inning. And has gone 3 1/3 without a base hit, without a walk, without anything. And not a ball hit out of the infield, incidentally. Does that tell you anything? We have not had a ball out of the infield since he's pitched. Ball 2 and no strikes. And Simmons out to talk to Allen. Ball 2 and no strikes.
I'd say I can't recall a relief pitcher in recent years or in many years that has the fastball that this guy has. He just
there he goes.
Completely overpowering.
Well, yes, he is. Can't take it away from him. Here's the, and it took him a couple of years to get settled down. He's there now. Ball 3. 3-0 to Gene Kleins.
I figure a guy that throws this hard is eventually going to walk somebody, but he's about as close as he's come so far.
First time he's been 3-0 on anybody.
That's good.
Well, I got to admit, I don't know how he hit a home run off Gibson on that pitch in the 1st inning, but I don't know how they were able to score their run in the 7th either, so we should be 0-0 here. Going into there, he walked Kleins. There's the first breakthrough. That's only the 2nd walk. Now, Art Howe is going to get the call. Good bat for Jerry Roy. Oh, we got some speed aboard. As Arthur Howe standing in, batting at .258. 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. He had a big home run for him over to Philadelphia and gave us a lead in the ball game that we ultimately lost. Chicago beat the Phillies 4-2. Vittori beating Twitchell. San Diego leads the Reds 1-0 in the 1 inning of play. Houston and the Dodgers are playing. Now Roboski psyched himself up. And Arthur Howe is standing in. 2-1 the Cardinals, 1 out, 1 on, 13th inning.
First time, pardon me, the first time this guy's had to pitch from a stretch. See how he throws from this angle.
Roboski checks Kleins. Comes to the plate. Inside corner, called strike 1. We're loosening Juan Pizarro. One out, 1 on, 13th inning. Roboski ready. Howe takes it outside, 1-1. Funny how the clock doesn't run in this game of baseball. Not demeaning football or basketball or anything like that. They're great sports, but there's one thing they don't have. That's this. 1 ball, 1 strike. Howe, a hammering swing. If he'd have hit it, he'd have scalped it. 1-2.
Arthur's talking about the first time that he faced Don Gillett in Cincinnati that night. He was throwing so hard. He said, man, that guy's about a yard faster than anything I've ever seen.
He just looked at another yard.
This guy's added another yard, too.
Well, we need a bug on the rug somewhere. Here's the 1-2 pitch now to Arthur. He strikes out swinging. That is strikeout number 6, and they bring it up to Rennie Stennett. He's had 5 looks at Gibson and Raboski. He's only had 1 at Allen, 4 at Gibby, and he's 0 for 4. He's wearing the collar. Since Raboski's been on, we haven't had the ball out of the infield now. That goes back to the 10th inning. Well, with 2 out, if the Pirates were able to get a bug loose on the rug, Mr. Kleins could operate. But against that outfield of Brock, McBride, and Smith, you better get it in between them in a hurry, because they can fly. Now Raboski ready to pitch. High foul, no play, off to the right.
Rennie's snapping his head back. He's done hell he missed it.
No balls and 1 strike. Once again, Raboski ready. Kleins a short lead at first, held by Torrey. Here's the 0-1. No, Klein started to run. There's a ball popped up. And it's going to be first baseman Joe Torrey getting under. And the Cardinals have dropped the ball. Torrey dropped the ball. Raboski ran him off it. Came over to say something to him. I don't know what it was, but Torrey dropped the ball. Kleins, of course, is out at second. Hit right on the heel of his glove, and he dropped it. Klein should be at third on that play, so that you're going to take advantage of an errant play and score.
He did not run, right?
He did not run.
No, he sure did.
The ball was popped way up in the air, and it's an error charged to Torrey, and here's Hefner. 1 for 5. If he's running full out, he's at third base where there's nothing to it, so that you can score on an error or a wild pitch or a pass ball. 2 men on. Raboski ready to Hefner. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. No balls and a strike. Now Raboski ready. Here's a look in the 0-1. Hebner takes it high for a ball. 1-1.
This guy's blowing. I can't believe it. You can throw the ball this hard, this consistently under pressure the way he's doing it. And sometimes when you try to throw so hard, you overthrow it and you don't get anything. But he is really, I guess, just pitching within himself, and he just can throw that hard.
He's doing it. There's no doubt that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kleins at second. Stennett at first. The 1-1 to Hebner. Inside corner called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I wouldn't believe that Torrey dropped that ball, hit him right in the heel of the glove.
It's funny, a sight looking down below. Everybody just en masse, as soon as the ball was hit, just got up and started going for the exits and very quickly.
That's why Kleins didn't get any farther than second base, because he didn't run any farther than that. He should have been to third and a walk. You got to go as hard out all. That's one thing about Roberto Clemente. Boy, did he run, and Stennett run. He might have been able to, well, he couldn't have gone into second. Here's the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Strike out, Hebner. And Raboski picks up his teammate Torrey, who dropped what could have been a very damaging error. And Torrey comes in and hugs him and thanks him for that one, because there isn't any question, if he doesn't strike out Hebner, and Hebner gets a base hit, this game is tied up. And the Cardinals are very elated over all of this, as they've won the game. Their 12th extra inning contest. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 left. The Cardinals win it in 13 innings, 2-1. There's a battle against inflation going on right now at all Superdollar markets, and you're invited to join. Superdollar markets will make your dollar have more sense. There are plenty of specials every week on quality meats and fresh produce, to say nothing of the values available every day in frozen foods and canned goods. Superdollar markets are owner-operated, so service and courtesy are 2 of the basic ingredients that go along with their efforts to keep prices fair and honest. There's always a great plus for Superdollar customers that's sometimes hard to find in most other large food markets. It's that wonderful, friendly feeling of welcome that puts you at ease the moment you walk through the door. Superdollar folks are people who like people, and you can take it from the old gunner. They'll do everything they can to help you make that hard-earned dollar go a little further. You can help cool down the inflation by putting your food futures in Super Dollar markets. Save for yourself. Visit a Super Dollar market this week and save. Super Dollar markets, the inflation fighters. Start your food shopping at Super Dollar markets this week and feel the difference. Well, anyway you slice this game, it was a dandy. Just take away your partisanship for either the Cardinals and or the Pirates, and you have seen, if you were out here, one whale of a ball game. For the Cardinals now, they take a commanding 2.5 game lead in the National League East. They've won 80, lost 68. The Pirates are 77 and 70, and drop now 2 games behind in the loss column, 2.5 overall in the National League East, and now, without question, got to tighten up the belt, bite the bullet, and see if they can't come back and get the Cardinals in the next 2 in order to bring that lead right back down to a half game. The first game in a 3-game series in a situation like this is always all important. Bob Gibson just pitched a magnificent ball game, and with 2 down, Oliver hit a golf shot off him, and I don't know how he ever got it, but he did. He hit a wedge shot, an Arnie Palmer wedge, right off his shoe tops and popped it into the right field seats for his 9th home of the year, and we led 1-0. Then will come the play I'll not know about for a long time until I find out from the umpires, and I don't think I'll be able to find out even then. And I'm going to give Joe Torre some credit. With 2 down, Simmons was at first base on a base hit. And just as Royce was set to pitch to Torre, Torre stepped out. And it started on the replay as we watched the Cardinal telecast, and Nellie described it. Doug Harvey started to put his hand up, calling time. Royce then did the one thing the pitcher's not supposed to do, but it's only a natural reflex when you see the batter step out and the umpire start to raise his hand. He stepped off the mound, broke his hands, and stepped off the mound, and Jerry Dale, the first base umpire, called a balk. That put Simmons at second base. And then Torre hit a line shot down the left field line, barely fair, but fair nonetheless, for the double that tied up the ball game. Now, in the same token, the Cardinals had Brock stealing in the 10th inning. He had the base stolen a mile when we were pitching to Sizemore. And as the pitch started to come down, Sizemore stepped out. And the umpire then called time, and Brock had to come back to first base. He had that base stolen a mile. But so we saw the 2 types of calls, and I just don't understand the ruling of it and how they do it. Because I know one thing, the rule says you're 2 things. When you're starting to pitch, the batter's got to stay in there. And if you step out when you're in the motion of pitching, it's a ball. If it's a ball, it's a strike. It's a strike. And but they don't call it that way, and I don't know why. And the other thing is how they can let Roboski take 35 and 40 seconds between pitches to go out and psych himself up without making him pitch within the 20-second rule with nobody on base is another thing, but he gets away with it. And the only guy in our lineup that stopped him from doing that was Zisk, who stepped out and went to the rosin bag on his own to just try to break up his motion. I got to say, the Cardinals are for real. Gibson was fantastic. Roboski, without any doubt, sensational. 4 innings of pitching, Nellie, striking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batters, and picks up his own teammate Joe Torre, who made what could have been a damaging error on the ball hit by Stennett up in the infield. And we got 2 men on, which game should have been over then. He bears right down, strikes out Hebner. He's just for real. He's won 7, he's lost 1. Royce the loser, 15 and 10. Cardinals 2-8 and 2. Pittsburgh 1-5 and 3. Taking away, as I said, Nellie, the partisanship. This was some baseball game. You've got to admit that.
Thrilling game to watch, and the Cardinals now have won 6 in a row. We've dropped 6 in a row, so that's the kind of space you can make up in just a week's time in this league, and it's something that you can look back on last year. We recall a ball game here last year, and we beat Tom Seaver, their best pitcher, and we thought the Mets were dead because I think they were about 4 or 5 games back at that time, and we had them beaten on the 17th of September, which, by the way, this is. We beat Seaver last year on the 17th. The next night, we were sure we had them put away in the 9th inning 5-3, and lo and behold, they came back and tied the game, won it. They went on, and they played some team named Oakland, I think, in October last year. So I think this thing still is not over. It's kind of tough for the Pirates, and if you're a Pirates fan, you got to be a little bit depressed, I would guess. But you got to look at one thing tonight. Pitching was there, and if this ball club gets pitching, they're going to be pretty good. And they were good tonight. And I think you're not going to look at Alan Roboski every night. He just can't pitch every night, and he's not going to be that fast, I'll tell you that. But they had the pitching, too, and that's why they won it tonight. But it was a very thrilling game. But there are still many more games to be played. We've got 5 with them, and you can't give it up. Tomorrow, Jim Rooker will get a start. He'll go against Jim McLaughlin, and
Till then, we'll be back to do it for the gunner Bob Prince and for